Chatsworth, Palace of the Peaks. 300 rooms, 35,000 acres, 62 farms, and 3 villages.
Living here, we tend to forget how big it is, and it seems strange that it should just be for one couple.
For more than 4.5 centuries, Chatsworth has been owned by one family.
We've got a duke, and we've got a duke's son and a duke's grandson, so we've got the next 2 lined up.
A line now led by the 12th Duke of Devonshire and his wife, the Duchess. These days, Chatsworth is a major commercial venture.
Here they come.
A yearly show.
Hello, would you like champagne? Thank you.
Bigger than any theatre production. With a backstage team of 700 just to keep it running.
If I see the Duke and Duchess coming, I go around and go, like that, you see, and they know what I'm on about, you know, that stand by your beds is what it is.
I've met the Duke and Duchess once. I thought you had to bow and things like that, you know, the first time I'm standing like this.
People who come, they either leave the next day or they stay for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
Like these two.
Centre stage is the house.
Morning, Duchess. Morning, Duke. Morning, Duchess. Morning.
From public displays
It's not really, don't do that ever again. It's just be careful what you're obscuring.
to private views.
I love going around the back. We all like polishing his bottom.
It's an unfolding drama where everyone has a role to play.
You've messed it all up, mister.
This is a year in the life of Chatsworth. Derbyshire in winter. Chatsworth is closed.
Opening week in the middle of March is always a bit of a deadline because the so-called quiet period when we're not open from just before Christmas, that quiet period is much the busiest time. Everything is frenetic.
They call it the deep clean. And everything must be done and dusted before the curtain goes up on the new season. With 100 rooms to get ready, it's tough work for the Duke's 20-strong housekeeping team.
You go first, because
The winter clean, things get moved all the time because it's the only time of the year that we can get things out of the way because there's no public coming through, and one slip and ooh, doesn't bear thinking about. Ooh.
And there are specialists, a textile department to prepare carpets, furnishings and drapes.
I'm pretty tired, but actually it's the adrenaline. You get going and, you know, it's not forever, so the adrenaline gets pumping and you just get through it.
To preserve the 1,250 works of art, much of it priceless, the Duke has a team of expert curators.
When you think you've got everything sorted, and then you suddenly realise you've got all the little bits to do, and then that's when you start to panic slightly. But not too much when you're handling this, so.
And Chatsworth has one of Britain's biggest private libraries.
There's an ongoing thing with cleaning books. We've got 17,500 in here and in the anti-library, and they all get taken off the shelves and dusted. How's it going, Jan? Must have done quite a few.
1650.
Outside, sprucing up 105 acres of world-famous gardens is the midwinter challenge for the Duke's 21 gardeners.
So you're more than halfway now. I was just working there.
We won't get it finished today.
No, no. Brilliant what you're doing. Thank you very, very much. And it'll be really appreciated, I'm sure.
So we just keep plodding along. All the paths should be re-gravelled. Everything else is in place. All the signs, all the benches are up. Whether I feel the pressure or not, it's still it still has to be done, and we just do it.
There's enough stone, brickwork, timber and glass to keep 17 housemen busy every day of the year.
We've got to get these jobs done before Sunday off.
We get shouted at.
All to put on a show for Chatsworth's 700,000 visitors. And topping the bill is the grand dining room. This year, the table setting will recall an historic moment in Chatsworth's history.
Well, we're just laying the table ready for the new season, which opens next weekend. And we've come in on a Sunday to do it because it's a bit quieter. We're doing a setting which is based on Queen Victoria's visit in 1843. There's quite a lot of silver going out.
It was in December that year when 37 guests, including the Duke of Wellington and Lord Palmerston, joined the Queen and Prince Albert for a weekend at Chatsworth.
There's a report in the Illustrated London News about her visit which describes how the table looked, so we know what pieces were on.
36.
Perfect.
Her Majesty Prince Albert and Lady Louisa Cavendish and Lord Melbourne sat on the right of His Grace in the centre of the table, being faced by the Duke of Wellington and the Duke and Duchess of Buccleuch.
So, fingers crossed, it'll all fit.
It just feels really uncomfortable. If you don't get the distances sort of equal, it's just, you look at it, it just makes you feel very uncomfortable for some reason. Either that or just fussy curators, I don't know which.
Probably the latter.
Been cleaning this silver for about 3 weeks. It's therapeutic in a way. You can clean one piece, compare it to the other piece that hasn't been cleaned for a year or whatever. It just looks really nice.
So what we're setting up for is we've got the soup, and then the fish course, and then the meat course, and then salad. But the forks go this way down because originally, if you had very lacy cuffs around your sleeves, sort of like in the 18th century, obviously the lace used to catch on that. So that's why we've got the forks with the tines sort of face down.
We all joke that by the end of the winter you're fitter than you were at the beginning because there's so much to do.
Just that difference between the burnished silver, where it's sort of really shiny, and then the more matte silver as well. And they comment about it even in the newspapers at the time in 1843. And just to be able to sort of see it close up with the daylight on it, it's just beautiful.
So I've probably stripped and laid this table about 20 times over the years. We're sort of getting professional at this now.
Spot on. It's amazing, things always take longer than you think, especially in a house like this.
Well, it's exciting. There's always an awful lot to do, but you've seen how hard everybody's working. So, you know, it's always like any deadline. We're not always on for another day, but then people have been wonderful and they come in on the weekend and worked in the evenings, and, you know, we're very lucky. They're very dedicated.
A dedication that late winter in Derbyshire can test to the limit.
Good morning. Today we're litter picking. It's raining outside, but it's the estate combined litter picking day, which we do annually. So there's lots of teams going all around the estate, but it's absolutely a huge feat because actually it's miles and miles and miles. So I think we're probably covering about a 9-mile square radius.
Who's hiding?
Despite the drizzle, when it comes to picking up litter, even the Duke and Duchess join in.
1, 2, 3.
We're walking.
From here?
We're picking, yeah. Anybody who wants to can volunteer to do an hour and a half or 2 hours picking up litter on the roads and the public footpaths through the estate.
You mustn't keep chatting like that.
Well,
you're meant to be looking down the edge.
I think of this place completely inaccurately as a private house in a private garden. And I'm told, and I believe it because it suits me, that that is what our visitors want.
What do we do with this?
I think I was more bothered with growing up than worrying about who was going to look after this place when I was a child. I don't think I had any concept of that. It was just something that it was where we lived. Historically, a duke was like any other hereditary peer, and they had the right to, and usually did, sit in the House of Lords. Quite rightly, the Blair government abolished the right for hereditary peers, and so I have no political role as of right. And I'm delighted because I wouldn't be any good at all at that. I think that had been there for quite a long time. It was sort of almost buried treasure. But what we do now, my wife and I, are like the equivalent of a sort of executive chairman and chairwoman. I haven't actually ever found anything very interesting at all.
No fivers yet.
The good thing that comes out of this, we've all got our patches where we've obviously litter picked, and then 2 weeks later when you drive past here and you see there's litter, you go, they're cheeky buggers.
Come out, you little bugger.
The minute this bag goes in the skip, I'm back to work, so not everybody else will be going for a shower and making sure they smell nice, but I don't care.
I think it's better than last year, don't you?
I think there was more than last year. Don't you?
Really?
Yeah.
But it's worth doing, I think.
From do-it-yourself rubbish collection to a £14 million facelift, this year Chatsworth is getting a major makeover. And for a 21st century Duke, some armour, a plastic hard hat.
Do you want me to go in front, Sweaty?
No, I'll be all right. If I'm not, I'll stop.
So,
thank you, Sean. The place was beginning to fall to bits. A piece quite nearly killed my great-grandmother before the war, so, you know, bits have been falling off for a long time, and we didn't want to spend the rest of our lives in these.
Sunday, the 13th of March, opening day.
Great. No, he's not, I'm afraid. OK, thanks, bye. It's all a little bit fraught today, so I'm going to see if I can find some keys.
Keys have been Christine Robinson's life for 36 years. While only a third of the house is open to visitors, there's still 100 rooms to unlock every day. For 29 years before the current Duke took over, Christine worked for his parents.
We wondered, we've moved the two candelabra. Well, we've moved one of them onto the table at the end, Your Grace, and we've moved...
It's not in the middle, Christine, is it? Not quite.
I don't think it is quite, I mean, it's... I have a recurring nightmare before house opening that I'm going around with my bunch of keys and I get overtaken by the visitors. I know that this is because I'm terrified that the house isn't going to be open on time. Whew, that's OK. It's quite terrifying, really. But it's a wonderful incentive to crack on and get it ready. I keep threatening to get a pedometer. Only I think it would terrify us if we realised just how far we walked. This should all be all right because I came through here and dusted it this morning, so if I find any dust through here, then it's me that's left it.
As head housekeeper and an old hand, it's all routine. But not for newcomers.
Staff. You've got to love them, haven't you? Yeah, brilliant. Good room, Heather speaking.
24-year-old local girl Heather first visited Chatsworth as a baby.
Kind of slightly panicky stage until we're open.
After working for the National Trust, she's on trial in her dream job, head guide.
So I'm the first female head guide, which is quite, I think, new to them. I think some struggled at the start, but they're fine with that now. There's just loads to do, but I like that. It keeps you busy. I've only got 3 more months left of my probation, then we'll see if they still want me.
Whether Heather is the right long-term fit for Chatsworth will be decided by her boss, Christine.
When the 6 months is up, there's a letter comes through from HR to say that they have successfully completed their 6-month probationary period and then a full-fledged member of the team. Sadly, if things don't work out, they get a different sort of letter which terminates their employment.
So we're off now to do the briefing. They used to have them up in the mess room, but I've moved them down here so that we can start work straight away. And who wouldn't want to have a briefing in somewhere like this? It's beautiful.
At the briefing, new girl Heather must win over 60 other guides. Many have been doing the job since before she was born.
Go on.
Christine should just do the briefing in the great dining room every day from now on.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did she tell me then?
I don't know. She'd just forgotten to tell you.
We thought long and hard about her appointment before we actually gave her the job because I think the key thing really was her youth and the fact that the majority of the guiding team, when she took it on, were of an older generation.
Morning, everybody. Hello. Right, 6 coaches in today, all of them at 11 o'clock. So it's going to be a bit of a squeeze, but we'll manage, it'll be fine. Have you all seen the new iPod handset as well? No. You haven't? No. OK. Well, it's been going for about 5 days. So you can have a play, Stuart. It's really easy to use. Thank you. I think at first I was quite worried about, obviously, so many guides and how to look after them and how they perceive me as well. But I think they're OK with it. It's, yeah, it's going well. It's good. Hello, Stuart. You all right? You OK? Super. What do you think?
It's a bit wrong.
Oh, which bit?
It's the intro. The Duke's death at the age of 55 was sudden and unexpected, and death due to the maximum rate. So that, actually, that's the 10th Duke. It's out. That full paragraph is out.
It is, isn't it? Let's have a look. You're right. Brilliant. Thank you for letting me know.
– 11 a.m. Gates open.
In some ways, it's a relief that we've got everything ready. And it's wonderful. We always go, the Duke and I, we always go to the top of the stairs and welcome the first visitor. Here they come.
I want people to come to Chatsworth and say this is the most amazing place, because that's what I think it is. I want people never to forget it once they've been here. I want to come back. I'm very, very proud of it, and I want to share that.
How are you? Yes, it is. How are things?
Oh, not bad. Good morning, good morning.
Hello. How are you? Fantastic service.
Yeah.
Well, it's been exciting at the beginning of the season, you know. We've been waiting for this for a couple of months, so...
It's sort of a relief that the work is done and that the visitors still want to come.
Oh, wonderful. Priceless. Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Hello, have you got your tickets all ready? Thank you very much.
A lot of changes.
Yes, there's always something new.
Yeah.
Different things appeal to different people,
Yeah.
don't they? And
Yeah.
some of it is very nice, and some of it we think, like that.
Some of them.
The estate staff needs to manage up to 6,000 visitors a day. With so many people, it's a priority to protect the house and its contents.
Can you just take your rucksack off and pop it on your front? Just so you don't knock anything, that's all. Yeah. Excuse me, sir, sorry to bother you. Can you take your rucksack off and put it on your front, please?
There's nothing in the bag.
No, because you might knock something. You have to carry it on your front. OK? Thank you. It's just so rude. I don't mean him, but I mean, you know, if you've asked somebody, you expect it to...
Exactly.
You know? I just don't understand. Plus, it makes our jobs really difficult because we're trying to do our security points, we're trying to engage with people, and we're having to deal with something as basic as that, aren't we? And it...
That's it.
It can get so frustrating. You see a frustrated face right now. Excuse me. No, it's all right. Can you just take your rucksack off and put it on your front? Yeah, just in case you knock anything, that's all right. Thank you. You know, it's not a museum. We don't shut things off behind glass cabinets. We do leave things open. This is someone's home. And I wouldn't do it in someone else's house, and I don't expect people to do it here, really. And he's done it again. OK, back in again. I'm sorry, sir. Can you take the... Thank you. Can't cope with it. I should throw more diva strops, shouldn't I, really?
A stately home is a costly place to run. These days, income must be earned. Working the land, charging admission and selling produce through a farm shop are key to Chatsworth's financial future. And driving this commercial approach
Hello, Alan.
is the Duchess.
Are you all right? Very good. I think it's fascinating, the shop. My mother-in-law started it, and it was a brilliant idea. And it started as an outlet for produce from the estate. And then it grew and grew and grew, and she was brilliant at developing it into something which is now a very popular farm shop. In fact, farm shop of the year.
And the manager of that farm shop is Andre Burkett.
How can you buy the tubs when they've got plants in them?
He's been part of Chatsworth for 29 years.
It's got to look loved. If it doesn't look loved, then the job's jiggered.
Starting in the kitchens of the house, he worked his way up.
Can I help you with that, sir? Let me carry that to your car. I can't see you struggle.
Now responsible for 120 staff, Chatsworth's gourmet farm shop is Andre's pride and joy.
What are you actually doing?
Well, you put the labels in the wrong place, Andrew. So if I see gazpacho, that's exactly what the shelf edge should say.
He's continually fettling.
I still have to fettle.
He's got very high standards.
It's just so that I can say that I put my mark on it, but when I come back down in an hour, it'll all be higgledy-piggledy again.
We have an excellent turnover of £5.5 million per year. We're all working hard to provide the funds for Chatsworth.
I can remember when we did our first £1,000 Saturday, which was the biggest achievement, and, you know, everyone was so glad that we'd managed to turn over £1,000 that the champagne was opened. And then, actually, a few years on then, to turn our first £1 million was significant.
Convinced his hands-on management has brought success to the farm shop and restaurant, Andre's latest mission has been to upgrade the lavatories.
The Duchess was very keen when we had the toilets revamped at the farm shop that the walls weren't blank. So over the last 3 months she's been collating lots of photographs of the family and images of Chatsworth. And they were only installed yesterday and somebody's already trying to pinch one. So it's been ripped off the wall apparently. So I'll just nip across and have a look and see what the damage is. Oh. Something not right. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, somebody's messed the underpants. I do sometimes judge people's mentality. People do the most disgusting things. I just knew something was happening because it was obviously just carrying on filling up. The problem is that we have here at Chatsworth is locally there's no more public loos about. Van drivers, people that aren't even coming here use this as a free toilet. And they've got absolutely no respect for what we do. One of the images has disappeared, so somebody's pulled it off the wall and taken it away. And obviously this has just been fully revamped, redecorated, replastered. And so that's what happens, which is very sad. Very sad. It feels like a personal attack to me. I know it isn't. I know it's just one of those things and somebody else hasn't thought about their actions. But to me, you're trying to enhance things and make things nice. They're not here for any other reason than to make it a better and more pleasant experience for the visitor that's coming and using these facilities. And yet, sadly, it's the minority that spoil it for the majority. The Duchess would be mortified if she'd known already that this happened, so I think we can probably get away with it, get something up as if it's not happened, and hope it doesn't happen again. Listen, across the world, I think people do the strangest of things, don't they? So Chatsworth's no different. You know, accidents do happen.
At the house, staff are expected to have all the answers. No one more so than Heather.
The badge obviously says head guide. People tend to think I've probably been here for years and years, and so they expect you to have a certain standard of knowledge. So I have to find that I have to perhaps research a bit more than the regular guide so I can keep up there. You might get occasional people asking about specific bits, at which point I need to dig into the depths of my mind and try and remember what they're about. But the basics I know, so that's okay. Oh, can you please try not to touch it? Sorry. This is by Edmund de Waal, Modern Art. 2007, it's called The Sounding Line. and it was created for this area. These down here, can you see they're slightly wonky?
Yeah.
Well, they're actually created in 3 parts, fired in 3 parts, then stuck on top of each other, yeah.
Do they make sounds then?
You know, why they're called the sounding line, I'm not sure. I'm sure somewhere it'll explain.
There's got to be, yeah, a reason.
All of these are religious paintings, so you've got Jacob's ladder, and then you've got Joseph, Technicolor Dreamcoat, and what was his wife's name?
What do we know about Jim Harrison? That
Oh, these I'm not sure actually. If you have a look at the, let's have a quick look. What does it say there? The foot is Greek. Something in my head was saying Roman, but it's not. It's Greek. I'm trying to find the Tintoretto as well because I know it's Samson and Delilah, but I can't remember the exact date. And they're a piece of modern art created in 2007.
Sorry,
Are you not convinced?
No, not modern art.
So as soon as Paul gets back, then I can go and swat up a little bit. Hi. Hi. Hi.
5 p.m. Doors close. The last visitors melt away.
Usually the first thing that we know that visitors have left is when people sort of trickle away from the garden, and then the water gets turned off at 5:30. The cascade and the Emperor Fountain gets turned off. Our day doesn't usually end until dinner time, which is about after 8 o'clock sometime. We try not to go back to the office after dinner if we can. We don't actually watch the television hardly ever, but we read a book and then probably fall asleep quite quickly. But the day is never really over, and the house is never really quiet, except very late at night.
For some, after a day being bombarded with questions, there's work to do. Struggling with her work-life balance, but knowing she's on probation, Heather brushes up on Chatsworth.
At the moment, really, I'm just swatting up. You know, I'm still learning pretty quickly, and often I'll read during the evening. You know, you do find that you can sometimes get a bit engrossed in books, really, and not pay much attention to your family instead. But I've got to do it. I've got to try and get as much knowledge as possible, really. I think for me, it's a confidence thing. The more I know, the more I can kind of almost forget about the probation a little bit as well, really, and try and concentrate on something else at the moment. You know, I've always worked in stately homes, but they've always been slightly smaller ones. And now it's Chatsworth. I mean, Chatsworth. And I just kind of think, have I done enough? Really? Have I done enough yet? Am I proving myself? You know, I'm managing a team of 60. Am I managing to do that okay? You know, I mean, you just don't know, do you? I'll never let anyone else know I'm nervous, and I'd never let the guides know I'm nervous. But, you know, sometimes it's something I am deep down. I think I wouldn't even let Christine know I'm nervous, but I am. So we'll see. Hopefully they have faith.
The show Chatsworth puts on is all about English history. And at its heart is the legacy of the Devonshire family.
In the middle is the first Duke. So he is a key person. He was very, very important. He built the square, the bit of the house that you see now, not the wing. The second key figure is the Bachelor Duke up there, and he built the new wing. A wonderful man in many, many ways, very, very extravagant. Left a huge amount of debt on his death, but really reinvigorated Chatsworth. And I think the third most important is my father, because he really saved Chatsworth after the war. Chatsworth would have become a national museum or something. We had 80% death duties to pay when my grandfather died in 1950. My father was only 30 then, and he and my mother together over 40 or 50 years, really the rest of their life, they spent first of all saving Chatsworth and then building it up. Now Chatsworth is about the house, not so much about the people who live here.
Today, with 700 staff and a multi-million-pound turnover, Chatsworth is the biggest local employer. And the Duke is the boss.
I was here all day on Saturday, literally, I think, from about 8 till 8. I mean, in theory, I'm 2 or 3 years past the old retirement age, but luckily they changed the law, so they can't make people retire at 65 anymore. Hello, Liz. Could you come and let us look at the diary, please? Thanks. My work life is 70% probably Chatsworth stuff. You know, if it's your own house, it does matter what colour the paint is, and it does matter what sort of tulips you're going to plant. Those little things matter a lot to us because it's where we live. It's not just a job. It's far more than that. And so, inevitably, we micromanage, and I don't really apologise for that. I'll be with the guests most of the morning, and then I've got a private meeting at 6:30 in the lower library, which in the diary, which you may or may not have seen just yet.
Yeah. Do you want tea and coffee for that?
No.
I'll just let the butlers know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OK, that's fine. Good, thanks.
All right.
I mean, a lot of people who live in big houses decide at a certain stage of their life, sometimes pre-announced, sometimes not, to move out and let the next person take over. Whether we stay here until we die or whether we move out, I don't know. But I think you can certainly retire from this job. But we're not ready for that.
When the Duke succeeded his father in 2004, the Duke's mother, the Dowager Duchess, moved to Ensa, a village on the estate. And she remains a pillar of local life. Her 3-volume autobiography, personally signed, takes pride of place in the Chatsworth shop.
It's a different world, completely different world to what I was used to. It is now a proper business. All the houses of this kind are run as businesses now. But anyway, I'm delighted to be here because it's 2 steps from the garden, 2 steps from the kitchen. At Chatsworth, you had to think which was the quickest way to get to the kitchen. I was getting too old for it. But besides, it was high time my son and daughter-in-law came.
But for Andre, the Dowager holds a special place. For most of his time working at Chatsworth, she was in charge.
This morning we're going to go and see the Dowager Duchess of Devonshire. I've got some books that she needs to sign. As a boy, I found it very difficult coming to Chatsworth. It was very much like upstairs, downstairs at the time. And I was on arrival with my tatty old suitcase, and my family drove off down the drive. There were tears in my eyes. First time away from home, and it was a very difficult time. My intentions were only to stay at Chatsworth for 18 months. And 29 years later, I'm still here. This is the old vicarage, and this is where the Dowager lives. I feel quite at home here, but we'll go in the servants' entrance like I always do. Good morning, Your Grace.
Good morning. Good morning.
I've got some books to sign, if that's possible.
That's very good.
Would you be able to do that for me?
Got a pen?
I think I have. One customer came and said they wanted an unsigned book, which was a rather bizarre request. And normally I'm getting told off because a book's gone out that hasn't been signed, and then I'm coming and saying, can you get me a book that's not signed?
That's very funny. Well, it's quite hard to find an unsigned book.
The Dowager is the youngest and last survivor of the legendary Mitford sisters, whose lives and loves transfixed society during the 1930s. Known to her family as Debo, she married Andrew Devonshire in 1941.
I've been there for 46 years and 1 month. People who come, they either leave the next day, fed up with this where the place is run, or they stay for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely,
like these two.
yes.
They get terribly attached to this place for some reason, don't they?
I think we all do, Your Grace, don't we?
We do.
There's something magical about it, but also it's that tradition, I think.
And it's sort of pretty well unique because this village is all occupied with people who had either worked on the estate or who have retired.
I think from outside, everybody looks on us as like we're perhaps a bit odd living together and working together and...
Do you think they do?
Well, I think some people find it bizarre.
Yes, I suppose I do. But you see, the trouble is that all humans are the same. So there's no point making a great fuss about who's what. It's better for everyone to get together, I reckon. Wait a minute, let's get this thing proper. There we are. 1.
Wonderful. And the figures were good last week, Your Grace, weren't they, for the farm shop?
Did the beef lead it?
Beef did very well.
Good.
And we've got some more venison in from the estate, so which is good.
Don't muddle me.
That's all right, sorry.
That's all your fault.
Sorry, there we are. I won't talk after this
You
one.
can't not talk. It's not in your nature.
Under the Dowager and her husband, the estate first moved into the retail trade. Today, its 62 farms and 100 acres of woodland supply the farm shop with all its beef, lamb and venison.
You know the first ice pond?
Yes.
There's a little valley that runs up from it. It's in there.
I'll go and have a look now.
Well, it may have gone, but the fox may have taken it anyway.
No, there's no
Who
foxes
knows?
here, is there?
No foxes? You tell me.
When she was in charge, she pushed the estate to make money, helped by young farmer Ian Turner.
He's got some funny theories, though, hasn't
And today, he still runs the farm.
Lambing time's a marvellous time on a farm, the creation of new life. You know, it all depends on what number of lambs we get for what we sell and then the economics of the running of the estate. We've got to keep this place running forevermore. We've got a duke and we've got a duke's son and a duke's grandson, so we've got the next two lined up.
My first lambing was in January. I had to be told step by step what to do, but I think I've got the gist of it now. Come on, girl. There we go. Check to see if she's having another. No, she's not having another. That's her too. So far, I'd say we've had over 3,000 lambs. I'm not sure how many we're going to have in total, but last year I think we had 4,800, which is quite a number.
Hello, lass, what you got? 2 Texels, what you got? 2 Suffolks, 2 Texels. Here we are, we've got a ewe that's only had 1 lamb here. We've had a ewe down the bottom end's had 3 lambs. The ewes have got a design fault, they've only got 2 buttons on the waistcoat. They could do with 4 some days here. It's more economical for us for a ewe to rear 2 lambs than what it is to rear 1 lamb. If she has 1 lamb, it'll probably go fat early on, but if she has 2 lambs, there's chance of her making twice as much money. Right, Frances has just put the ewe down, and she's holding it down. Now Natalie's going to simulate that she's lambing again. You found another lamb in there? You made sure both the teats work first, have you? Well done, girls. Don't rub it on there, rub it on lamb. There you are. She thinks she's had 2. She's loving them both now. She's drying her second lamb, which is a foster lamb, very well. And it looks like it'll be a good take.
Spring lambs on the farm, but not all their visitors are spring chickens. With over 100 acres to cover, electric buggies are in high demand.
We might be lucky, I think, on the next one.
Yes.
I can get 5 of you on. The last one went without us because it only takes 5, so we said we'd wait for the next one, so we're hopefully on it.
Americans stereotypically do not like to wait. No.
Garden buggies at the moment are a bit of a problem for us. We've had a few issues with queue jumping and customers getting a bit irate with each other.
And then I've still got to wait for that to come back.
There'll be about half an hour.
Oh.
How many buggies do we actually have in our possession on the front of house side of things?
3 at the moment.
3. We've got 3 down at, where do you call it, maintenance?
I think we've got 5 in total.
Yeah, I mean, one of them at the minute is completely out of commission. Apart from that, I'm not 100% sure.
No.
Do you have an ETA for the second buggy? Over.
Fighting to keep their visitors mobile is the estate's only qualified mechanic, Andy.
Once fixing, fixed. Once fixing, can't fix it. I think that's about sums it up. That one's a new engine in it. These two are, that's ready for servicing, and them two are sort of, if I ever get time. You know, they are quite busy on the garden tours at the moment. It doesn't help if some of them are off the road. We haven't got any spare ones, so we'll have to mend these to get them back in the loop. Be okay? I've got so many jobs, so many mixed jobs, that everything's a priority, and you struggle a bit to try and get which priority you should be on. We can be anything from toilet cleaners, dog catchers, you name it, we do it. If I was to wear a badge with all the things that I did on it, I wouldn't be able to carry it. Whatever time I spend on it now will sort of keep it going for the next 3-4 months, hopefully. I don't want a big queue of people waiting for something that's not going to turn up.
Until Andy can patch up more buggies.
We were waiting 40 minutes for a buggy, and then before we could get on, everybody else had piled on, and we were the first in the queue, and I thought, hello. And then he assured me we'd get on the next one in half an hour's time. Everybody jumped on, and there we are not on the buggy again.
And with skirmishes breaking out amongst the visitors.
Do you want to take a seat? Come on, we're all right for this one.
Heather calls for backup.
Hi, it's Heather from the Sculpture Gallery. Really need your help. We have no other buggies at all. Right, OK. If we got two in the gardens, do we know where they are?
Duke's buggy.
See if we use the Duke's buggy.
Go and fetch it.
Yeah.
Will the keys be in it?
Hi, it's Heather from the Sculpture Gallery. Really need your help. Is there any way at all that we could use the Duke's buggy? Oh, what, the door near where the garden buggy is? Great, I'll send David down now. OK, thank you, bye. Yeah, we're going to use the Duke's buggy. If you go and meet Dina, she'll be stood at the door near where the buggy is, and she'll hand the keys straight over to you.
Now?
Now.
Thank you.
OK.
And now we're going to have one all to ourselves. The Duke's buggy. Bye.
You know, sometimes you've got to think on your feet a little bit with these things, but, you know, it's part of your job, really. And don't mind. That's why I'm here.
Overseeing the shops and restaurants, the present Duchess is on call throughout the summer.
When my mother-in-law handed over the farm shop for us to run, I found there was a large pair of shoes to fill. But it's very important to keep the farm shop evolving because our customers know what they want and they're always looking for something new and interesting, and so we need to keep one step ahead. Andres asked me to have a look at some cheeses, some new, different cheeses to choose and decide if we want to sell them in the shop. I think we'll have a look around the shop as well while I'm there.
As Amanda Carmen Haywood Lonsdale, daughter of Commander Edward Gavin Haywood Lonsdale, she married Peregrine Cavendish on the 28th of June, 1967 at St. Martin-in-the-Fields, London. Now she's running a grocer's shop.
If I see the Duke and Duchess coming up or they're coming up the drive, I go around and go, like that, you see, and they know what I'm on about, you know, that stand by your beds is what it is.
We had some delicious cod. It was excellent. Really, really fresh.
Yeah.
Andre, will you send some tuna up next time when Sophie asks?
Of course you can.
Yes, please.
Yep, that can be sorted.
Thank you.
It's great when she does come to, like she said to Sophie on the fish counter, the fish was fantastic that we had yesterday. It's good customer feedback from the head of the table, as you might say. I think it's a really good thing to do.
Well, it brings the customers in, too.
And the head of the table is ready to move on to the cheese course.
Now, what have you got?
We've now had 2 years of the continental cheeses that we've got in the counter, and there are only 6, but they've been excellent sellers. And that was your driving
driving force with me to get those in, and absolutely they've been brilliant. So, and I just wondered if maybe it's time for
A change.
a change with them.
Fine. Okay. This looks very strong. What is it?
Well,
Unpasteurised.
unpasteurised. So, shall we have a try?
Well, no,
Do you fancy a try?
no, don't let's start with the strongest. Let's start
Oh, we
with
don't
the
know.
weakest. Are we going to be able to taste all of them?
Of course we are. That's the one to start with, I think, isn't it? Selling foreign cheeses in an English farm shop is very controversial, so I think it's something that the family should always be involved in, and I'd always speak to the Duchess first before doing anything that was like this, because we're very proud that we've got 99% of our products being British. So absolutely, I wouldn't dare do it without consultation.
I like that one. It's creamy. No, I don't like that one as much.
It's too dry. It's a bit like Gouda.
Yeah. It's stronger.
I like it.
Sweet. That's very
Delicious.
nice. Excellent.
But we know what we like now, and we know what we don't like.
We know where we are.
We know where we are.
Anything to show me downstairs?
Photographs in the loos.
How are they doing?
Did you know we had a little bit of a mishap?
No, what happened?
One of them was stolen after day 3.
Which one? The Duke?
No, it wasn't the Duke. It was a floral one of the gardens in the Gents. But while it's a bad thing that it's happening, it's because they're so good.
You know who took the photograph?
Absolutely.
Great country houses have always been a source of employment for the local community. The commercial success of Chatsworth is helping to keep this tradition alive.
A lot of families have worked here for more than a generation. They're hefted to the place, like a flock of sheep can be hefted to a hill. They don't need to be shepherded after several generations. And I think that they are really proud to see that Chatsworth is voted the most popular historic house. When we get those awards, that is, I think we all feel, everybody here feels that we've all played a part in winning that award. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is the Countryside Alliance Lifetime Achievement Award. It's for the whole estate and for all the things that have happened at Chatsworth over the last 20 or 30 years. So it's really more for my parents than for us. But it's certainly for an awful lot of you who've been involved for a long time. And so about to be up outside my mother's front door. So thank you very much and well done. I feel a sense of obligation to my parents, a really strong obligation to them, because they did such a fantastic job, because they kept this place going when lots of other people would have just given up, and with good reason. We're really only building on what they created. They did nearly all the hard work. I think it's nice. Proper bit of kit.
Very nice.
They'll probably give an award to the person who made it. This is the Countryside Alliance annual awards. You know, it's a lovely thing to be given. It's the first time they've given a Lifetime Achievement Award. In the 50s, when my parents started all this, everything was at a really low ebb, including Chatsworth. Now it all, it goes very well, and it has done for 20 years, but it wasn't always like that. It was much more of a struggle.
It was not. It was a terrific struggle. And the taxation was so high. I suddenly realised that if we can have a butchery, we can sell direct to the public.
From the farm.
From the farm. Everybody would know that it was Chatsworth produce.
Yes.
And that was the strength of it. And I had no official job here. I just was behind the scenes, and so I just rattled on till they got so bored with it. In the end, they said, all right, well, we better do it then. We'll try, they said.
I suppose you'd call it that very rare thing called common sense.
I do believe it was.
Yeah. So that was good.
It's unheard of.
So we could put it there?
Yes.
What does that look like, all right?
So that'd be very
or
good.
up here?
A little bit too high.
Too high? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, it can go there.
That'd be lovely.
That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Yes. Really
Just
nice.
perfect. Or you could put it on the other... No, you could put it under the bell so people have to see it.
Well, and then they ring the bell.
Then you could say underneath, aren't I clever, or something like that.
Something like
yes,
that.
all right. Well, we'll try it once more when we get some screws.
Yes,
and
all
we
right.
can put it in.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Lovely. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, I hope so. And I really will ask you to lunch next time.
Yes, please.
Today is the annual sheep service, and at the village church, the Dowager leads the flock.
The name Jacob Sheep derives from Jacob in the Bible, one of the shepherds, and he had all the piebald sheep, and they became known as Jacob Sheep. The fourth Duke introduced 6 Jacob ewes. I think next year will be 250 years, as Jacobs have been on the estate. Right, we'll have these two out. Right, here we go, you two. These are the two we've selected to take. They're not too big for the kids to carry.
Morning, Your Grace. Are you okay?
No, they look very
Are you happy with all the sheep in the churchyard now? You've got 3 Jacob ewes, 6 lambs, and everything's doing well. All creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all.
O Lamb of God, bless this thy lamb, which bears thy name. O Lamb of God, bless this lamb, which bears thy name. Amen.
Probably both go in and feed, because they've had a couple hours away, and it's comforting for them. And she's going to be all right. She's letting them feed, so they'll just smell a little bit of people holding them and cuddling them, but we'll leave her a day anyway and keep an eye on her. Good.
With the Duchess keen to sell French cheese alongside local fare, Andre has set up a tasting to test her selection.
So for the last 3 weeks now, we've had the Duchess's favourite choices of foreign cheeses on sale. And it's the first time, really, we've accepted openly foreign produce into the shop. And what we want to do now, moving on from that, we've got Bob to come in and do some tastings from our cheese suppliers. It's all very new to us, Bob, doing this. All this foreign cheeses, you know.
It's good foreign cheese, though.
It is good.
It's the best you can get.
Try that cheese, Angie, as you go by. And speak to Bob, it doesn't bite.
I love cheese.
Quite strong, but the aftertaste is fantastic. There you go, sir. These represent the top end of the very best of French cheeses. So we've presented them to Andre and picked 8. So
it weren't me, Bob, that chose them, it was the Duchess.
Yeah, well, the Duchess chose them, but...
It's not as strong as it looks.
No.
That's nice, though. I love cheese. Terrible.
I love cheese. I do as well.
Hand ladled, beautiful flavour, nice, and the outside's quite sticky.
It's quite sticky. Right.
People can now choose to buy it or not, but you know we've given it a nice push.
That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. You help yourself,
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm very pleased.
I could eat them all. They're all nice.
That's great.
Change, embrace it. That's what I say. Shall we just look at the cheeses?
Yes, come on, I want
Let's
to
have a
hear
look.
about these cheeses.
I think you'll be very interested to find out that all these that we tried,
Yes.
these are all on sale now. 14% of our total cheese sales have been your choice.
No. Our choice. Come on, Andre.
Our choice. We've given it a boost. We've obviously had tastings with customers. We've had their feedback,
Yeah.
and it's been really, really positive. So,
Well,
really
that is
positive.
Really exciting.
I think these two were probably
Yes.
the best that we did the tastings with, and it's obviously boosted the sales on the counter as well.
Wonderful.
So it's been.
Isn't that good?
It is good.
What about my photographs in the loos?
The photographs in the toilets.
Are they still flying off the wall?
No, they're not. They've been screwed to the wall now. So whoever's got a collection of 2 that just pull them off, I think that's where that collection will stop.
Good.
So unless they're going to bring a toolkit with them.
Oh, well.
But no, they're all there and intact and,
That's
and
good.
still looking fine.
Good. Sorted that out. Well done.
Fantastic.
OK, that's fine.
For Heather, Judgment Day. With her probation at an end,
It's OK. Have I got everyone? We look a bit empty.
next up, the head housekeeper's office.
I can't even comprehend it at the moment, to be honest. I'm trying not to think about it. So, just trying to see the positive side. I've done everything I can, that's all I can, you know, go for, really. And just hope she's seen that. Yeah, I laugh more when I'm nervous. I don't even want to think about it, really. I just want to get in there, see what she says and get it done.
Oh, hi, Heather.
Hello.
You know, we need to sit down and have a chat, talk about what's happened, what's gone well, what hasn't gone quite so well over the last 6 months. When you arrived, the relationship with the guides was very challenging. And I think for you coming in, not knowing anything really, and having to take over a team who've been here for a very long time, I think that must have been a real challenge for you, and it's one that I think you've risen to. I think you know.
Yeah, I feel really a lot more confident in it.
Yeah, a couple of negative things, but things don't look like that. Because this is what I feel is important. Really, it's about being honest.
Yeah,
and I think that is the key, because there are one or two things that have, where I've asked you to do things and they've kind of slipped through the net and not got done.
I think as well, because things are slotting in now together. When you say stuff, it makes sense to me, so I'll remember it.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it might be something that I'm not used to.
It made perfect sense to me, but it probably wouldn't to you. So that's a fair comment. But on a personal note, I really do. I love your sense of fun and your enthusiasm and your passion. And I've got your letter here to confirm your appointment. So
lovely! Thank you very much.
And I've also got you some work for next year. I've got your diary for 2012. So well done, Heather.
Thank you very much.
Really pleased.
Thank you. Great, got it. So I'm really chuffed, really happy, really, really happy. It just means I can just forget about that now and get on with my job. Got to say, I'm absolutely gutted if I hadn't have carried on. So, no, I'm really happy.
Next week on Chatsworth, conflict blossoms at the Flower Festival.
This is a rather amazing gallery.
I've got to work in their home fundamentally, haven't I? So I don't want to do anything that's going to offend or upset them.
Just be careful what you're obscuring.
For the Duchess, the highlight of her social calendar turns into a bumpy ride.
On sides, everybody!
As she struggles to get the Chatsworth International Horse Trials under starters orders.
I'm feeling sick at this very moment, very sick. So pressure.
And some serious problems need ironing out.
Oh, Janet. You know how they say a bad workman always blames his tools?
What's wrong with your iron, Jane?
My steam button's got stuck.
Chatsworth, Palace of the Peaks. 300 rooms, 35,000 acres, 62 farms, and 3 villages.
Living here, we tend to forget how big it is, and it seems strange that it should just be for one couple.
For more than 4.5 centuries, Chatsworth has been owned by one family.
We've got a duke, and we've got a duke's son and a duke's grandson, so we've got the next 2 lined up.
A line now led by the 12th Duke of Devonshire and his wife, the Duchess. With an eye on its future,
Here they come.
they run Chatsworth as a business. A glittering show that never ends.
Hello, would you like champagne? Thank you.
Big old buildings seem to soak up money quicker than almost anything you can imagine. And the main reason we put events on is to make money for the Chatsworth House Trust.
Come springtime, it's the thorny problem of the annual Flower Festival.
I've got to work in their home fundamentally, haven't I? So I don't want to do anything that's going to offend or upset them.
I think the only thing I'm not very keen on is this behind us, designed by the Teletubbies.
This is a rather amazing gallery. Just be careful what you're obscuring.
You've messed it all up, mister.
This is a year in the life of Chatsworth. Springtime at Chatsworth, 7:30 a.m. For the Duke, a brisk walk to his first appointment.
Well, I'm going to Bakewell. I'm going to get my hair cut, which won't take very long. I try and walk over because it's a good opportunity to. I never get enough exercise, and so instead of driving over, I'm walking over.
Back at the house, already hard at work, the 8 housekeepers.
When I say I'm a cleaner, I sort of feel, well, there's just more to it than that. I mean, yeah, I can clean a bog out like the next person, but it's a house that's packed full of things from every generation. One of the electricians put lights on it on Christmas, and he put the lights strategically in certain places. He was told in no uncertain terms to move them.
Chatsworth's been part of my life since 1978, and I married a Chatsworth girl who was born on Chatsworth, whose family are old Chatsworth people. The Dowager Duchess, who was Duchess then, would say, you either come to Chatsworth for a day or the rest of your life. And for me, that's what it's turned out to be.
So the oak stairs takes a long time, really. There's a lot to it. When they made all this fancy decoration, they never thought about someone having to clean it. You find that people who come to work often stay a long time here. Quite a few of the girls have got their 10-year necklaces. So I've got to complete this year, and then hopefully I might get a necklace as well, which will be rather nice.
I've worked at Chatsworth for 26 years. After 10 years, you get the necklace, which is Blue John on one side, which is mined in the Peak District. On the other side is a snake with the symbol of Chatsworth. And after 25 years, you get a gold watch. I wear it every day. I don't save it. I just wear it every day, and it keeps good time. And yes, it's an honour to wear it, really. Yes.
Keeping Chatsworth clean and tidy is a job for everyone.
Well, I can't resist it, but once I start picking up litter, I've had it, so I'll have to be a bit selective, but I just can't walk over that stuff. It's one of our tickets anyway. We used to live here in the village until I was 13, and I remember I had a sort of red, it was called a go-kart, but it didn't have an engine. A sort of red, like a sardine tin on wheels, and going from the top of the hill out of control and crashing into the side, and I still got a mark on my knee. But I don't think I went very far. I was going very fast, but it seemed like a horrific accident then. And, you know, this is where we lived, and I played there all the time. Till I was 8, I didn't go away to school, so everything I did was either in the garden or in the village. My parents weren't very strict at all. I think they were very good to us, really. I had a sister who's a year older, and so we did everything together. She was much cleverer than me, but it was really nice. I think we were very happy. I don't think that being a duke makes you feel anything. It's just a name, which is a historical thing. So, but the ownership is not really me. It's sort of the family, and it's just by luck. And so I just feel, obviously, very, very proud of it. The whole place, the village and the park and the house and the garden and where we're walking, it's always been part of my life ever since I can remember. You know, when it's a lovely morning like this, you just can't believe how lucky you are to be alive and to be in Derbyshire.
It's not just the Duke who loves the place.
Lots of people would love to do what I'm doing, to have that freedom to do different things, to look at antiques, to handle antiques. I mean, my absolute nightmare would be to sit in front of a computer day in, day out. And so this sort of job suits me fine, because as yet they haven't got me on a computer. Actually, the sculpture gallery is my favourite, especially if it's a hot day, first thing in the morning. It's lovely and cool to dust the sculptures. I mean, they are so beautiful, and Canova was so good at capturing the human form. It's peaceful and serene. You can hear the echo in the room. I mean, they're gorgeous bodies. I shouldn't think you'd find many bodies the same as these. I'd love to get a bucket of water and wash them, but of course we're not allowed to do that. But years ago, before we knew that we weren't to wash them, they came up lovely and white. Being a housemaid here is a real privilege, because you go round and you see all the signs that say do not touch. Well, we can touch. This is Mars being restrained by Cupid. And I love going round the back. We all like polishing his bottom. I should think it's shining by now.
11 a.m. Gates open, and the warm weather is pulling in the crowds.
Hello. It's £2, please. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Throughout the year, 16 special events help keep the tills ringing.
The main reason we put events on is to make money for the Chatsworth House Trust, the charity that runs Chatsworth, the house, garden and the park. It is expensive looking after the place. We couldn't do all the restoration work and the restoring and the repairing and the renewing without that cash. And that's one of the best ways of ensuring we have the money to do it.
One of the biggest events is Floor Abundance. Now in its third year, this 4-day flower festival has taken over the gardens and the house. Dominating some of the grandest rooms, the event is organised by Jonathan Mosley.
I've got all different coloured gravels that are going to go on there. That'll work okay.
A floral designer celebrated internationally, he represented the UK at the 10th World Show in America.
And dried, I've got quite a lot of dried stuff for them to use in there. Floor Abundance is really bringing Chatsworth alive with flowers, using things that have been grown in the gardens and by the gardeners, and obviously lots of exotic and unusual blooms which I source and purchase. Well, we really need those stands to get on with that border. A house like Chatsworth would have been full of potted plants and growing flowers just for cutting to bring into the house. Now, of course, to preserve all the different tapestries, the furnishings, the interior of the house, it's rarely given the opportunity to have any flowers around. So I'm just thrilled that Floor Abundance has the chance to do that.
This year, he's come up with something spectacular.
The sculpture gallery is actually the easiest and the nicest room to dress because the light levels in here are always excellent. The inspiration behind the designs for this room are the bulb fields of Holland, where you've got big blocks, big swathes of all one colour, where there's all that regimented, linear footage of tulips, which is just a spectacular sight to see. In the central Tazza there, we're going to have a big rhododendron sculpture, but we're going to paint that shocking pink and vibrant bright orange. They're going to have an explosion of tropical plants and flowers shooting out there to create this sort of very jungle, very vegetative feel. Quite excited about this room. It will come together well, and it's just such a nice place to finish on.
But with Floor Abundance just days away, there's a problem blossoming in the garden.
We're just harvesting these tulips. They were planted for Floor Abundance. Unfortunately, the sun's brought them on too quickly, so now we're going to use them for selling around the shops. It's really difficult when you're fighting against the weather and the pests.
away. Oops, sorry, Glenn.
Hang on. So this is one of the problems we've been having in this area. I've started off with pheasants digging them up, and it's been a host of mice and rabbits and badgers also looking for moisture in.
And now it's flower ranges.
Yeah, and now flower ranges.
Now flower ranges are going to start picking them. Poor things, they're fated. It can't be a tulip festival without tulips, can it? We'll have some for opening, but that's it. What are they like, Mick?
They're better condition than these ones.
Shall we just have a little rummage, see if there's anything else we may get here? Shall we have a walk round? But just look in here, there's nothing. If we could turn the clocks back and we were cutting these to work with now, you've got so many choices, really. So we need to look at bringing some in. So that's
like
5,500 tulips. You're suddenly
and what we down to?
not at your disposal. 500, yeah. That's a major loss to what I plan to work with. So I can't just suddenly rustle that quantity together on the budget.
As one of Britain's most popular tourist destinations, Chatsworth pulls in thousands of people to this corner of Derbyshire.
For me, you know, people come to Derbyshire, they come to Chatsworth, and it can only be good for the local economy.
Morning. Morning. You all right?
And well, are you?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
You walked in this morning, or?
I did. It was beautiful. It was really lovely. Yeah, it was a bit misty to start with, but it was really lovely.
It's perfect weather.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you having much off there?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Good to hear
it won't take long, I don't think.
Is it busy at the house at the moment?
Well, it's been great this week.
I've noticed in the town here that it's been very busy, so it's...
Yeah, they brought a lot of people out. I'm not quite sure where they come from, but anyway, it was fantastic yesterday or the day before, and it will be again today. And I think having a really confident forecast for several days ahead,
exactly,
that makes a huge difference at this time of year. People can make
people
a bit
out more.
Yeah.
We gain quite a lot from it. It's good.
Well, it's
for
all
local business.
It's all integral, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bakewell feeds on us, we feed on Bakewell.
When the Duke has been for his haircut, it's quite nice because people are sat in the shop looking, and it's like, was that the Duke? It's like, yes, and it's like, so it's good. It's good for business.
Yeah, it's good for me because it gets me out of bed and makes me go for a decent walk in the morning. Yeah. Can you give these a go?
I will do, yes.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thanks very much.
See you in about, I don't know, 6 weeks. I'll give you a ring. Okay?
Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Bye.
Living in the country, I think, is the best of all. I was brought up in the country and I love horses. I like the freedom, the peace and quiet, and the beauty of it.
Such a lovely morning. It's perfect, isn't it?
I particularly like working with animals because I like that trust that you have with them. When you build up a relationship with a horse and they learn to trust you, and once you've got that trust, it's just so thrilling. It's in my blood. I love horses. If you have a good one, well, it's the ultimate.
Since 1956, the three-day Chatsworth International Horse Trials has attracted the world's leading riders. In 1999, the Duchess took over running the event, and it's now the highlight of her social calendar.
I always look forward to the horse trials. I think it's my favourite event that we hold here because I love horses and I ride myself, so I enjoy seeing them. It's expensive to run, but it's a very enjoyable event and it's very prestigious, and we have an excellent team running it, and I love being involved.
And this year, there's extra pressure. As an official qualifier for the London Olympics, there'll be 75 fences over the 300-acre course. There's a lot riding on getting everything perfect.
I'm the designer of the cross-country course, and I'm the one that gets the stick if it goes wrong on the cross-country day and the riders are not happy. They could come back round.
For Ian Stark and the international governing body, every fence must meet Olympic standards.
That's quite a nasty little fence, isn't it?
This one?
Yes.
I'm a nasty little person. Didn't you know that, right? It's not nasty, it's just asking a question.
Okay. Ian definitely knows exactly what he wants. What one's always got to try to do is just to remind him from time to time that not everybody rides like him.
You can't do a course for the idiots. They shouldn't be here if they can't jump it. Maybe that's not a good quote. You've got to be bold, you've got to be brave. I suppose you've got to be a bit arrogant. Do I confess to that? Well, probably. I think it'll look quite different when there's water in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you bring that in, you're losing all the effect of having this.
I mean, I'm only talking 2 inches or 3 inches or something.
Can I nap on that one?
It's just, it is definitely a reach, isn't it?
Yeah, but I want to have that feeling of gung-ho to it. What we're talking about is the difference between what you would like and what I would like. And I'm the designer, and it's not incorrect.
We're only arguing about nothing, really.
We've got to uphold standards.
Let's move on.
Have a spat.
Right, an inch.
An inch.
Where are they going, Jonathan?
In the battle to save Chatsworth's tulips, victory is in sight. 5,500 reinforcements have been shipped in from Holland.
That's going to be a help with all those Dutch buckets.
Yeah, I know, great.
Today is all hands on deck for flowers. As you can see, all our flowers have arrived now. So it's a mammoth conditioning session, which basically means giving some pre-treatment to the flowers before they actually go in the arrangement. So like the gerbers need really deep water up to their necks to get them nice and turgid so they don't droop on us, because there's nothing worse than a droopy gerber. You could start, if you don't mind, doing as gerberers. And what I do is just, in a bucket, hang them like that, back to back. Isn't it heavy enough? I think it'll be too cold for these up here tonight.
It's going to be very cold tonight.
Oh, they're going down anyway.
They're going
aren't
down.
they? Going down. It's like Christmas Day, this, really, when you've got all your Christmas presents around you and you start delving in the boxes and you see all those lovely little treats that we've ordered. So this is a bit of a flower fix for us today, so we're on a high.
Hello, horse trials.
Tissy Reason has been involved in the organisation of Chatsworth International Horse Trials for the last 12 years and was appointed director 2 years ago.
It is an expensive event to put on, with all the ancillary things that we do here at Chatsworth to make it the best we possibly can. But equally, we expect a good revenue in exchange. But until the event actually starts, we don't know till then if we really have got it right. And of course, it's essential that we do get it right, because the books must balance at the end of the day. From the Chatsworth House Trust point of view, they want to see this event make a profit. We've got my 2 daughters, Camilla and Melissa, who were very kindly given up their weekend to come and help.
We were kind of born into this. We didn't really have much choice.
It's fair to say that ever since we were conceived, we have attended a horse trials.
You refer to it as the zone, and I refer to it as HTM, which is when Mum gets in horse trials mode, and she's just in her own little place, and you just leave her
Sounds
there.
like PMT.
And you try
It's probably quite close,
No, it's when you ring in the evening. You ring in the evening to chat to you, and you just know that you're sat at the computer doing something else. And he'll tell you something really, really important, and you'll just go, yeah.
So you could say, I'm getting married, I'm leaving the country.
Yeah, I could tell you I was pregnant, and you'd just go, yes, that's nice. And just carry on.
I would not.
I'm trying to make this the entrance into the tent, and this the out, the in and out. You'd think that wasn't difficult for people to go in the inn and out the out. But tomorrow, people will try very hard to come in the out and out the inn. So hopefully tomorrow, when everyone wants to come home, they'll walk up this hill, see the sign pointing them out, and go out there. But it won't be like that.
Armed with the blooms, supported by a volunteer army from the Women's Institute and local flower arrangers, Jonathan's plan for 268 designs swings into action.
It suits the house very well to have lots of arrangements all the way through it. Some of them are pretty amazing, done with huge diligence by the volunteers who do the flowers. It's just a different sort of chat, so that people turn up, and lo and behold, there's wonderful flower arrangements in every room for those 3 or 4 days.
When I came to have a look what Jonathan wanted me to do, he said, Silvana, I want you to do elegance. And I don't normally do elegance. So I don't know how I'm going. He hasn't been round yet, so.
It needs to be a bit lower. That's it. If anything, you could do is be a bit lower. Slightly lower.
What I like about flower arranging, you know when you paint, it's just 2D, it's flat on the paper, unless you use a sort of thick paint. With flower arrangement, it's the 3D-ness. It's like a sculpture, but it's a living sculpture. I mean, just look at the materials you're working with. You've got, you know, orchids and gingers and gerbers and anthuriums. Why do you like flower arranging?
You can get lost in it, can't you?
Yes.
You forget everything else that's going on in your life and just get totally absorbed by it.
Brilliant.
That looks nice. Yeah, that's coming on great. The palm looks nice in it. All I'd do is just add more hazel.
More hazel on the
yeah,
top.
put some more
Well,
hazel.
we've got these in the can
Brill.
on the top and yeah, spray it and then off we go.
Well done. Thank you. No, thank you.
They're much closer
Brilliant.
together than they are on the others.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because this is the wrong way around. It's lengthways on.
It is the other way around.
That's sideways on. You've messed it all up, mister. Oops.
Keeping the flowers watered over 4 hot days is the next worry for Jonathan.
I'm a bit concerned about them all. I think they're all going to flop. It's vital they get a good drink each day.
Yeah.
Because they do drink up so much. They really do. And we'd hate for our creations to die prematurely.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want that to happen.
No,
do you?
we'll feel
No.
suicidal if that happened. I know you're going to hate me because I'm going to nag on about watering all the time. If we don't get enough water in early enough, once that drying out process has started, you can't revert it back. They'll start to deteriorate.
Just to keep the flowers and the foliage fresh on top. Yeah, this is the first time I've had to do it. I gather they were doing it last night, so...
It's just getting the balance so you don't overflow. And it's trying to get the hose in. It's quite difficult.
Being a duke brings responsibilities and obligations. Every year he attends over 200 public functions. Today's is just down the road.
We're going to the roundabout outside the Golden Gates because the Baslow WI have got an oak tree and they've asked me to help with the planting of the tree.
He's our neighbour, and you've got to be on good terms with your neighbour, haven't you? I might need to borrow something.
And we're very lucky to live as close to Chatsworth and have the benefits of living near Chatsworth. And he's very lucky having us.
Not sure about that one.
Jane Walker, hello. Joke at Derbyshire. And nice to meet you. Ever since you kindly asked me, I've been looking at the roundabout in a completely different way.
Excellent! Excellent!
Because, you know, this is quite
You've
bland.
never noticed it before?
No, it's always in the way.
Yes.
How long ago did you start?
2009.
Oh, that's very quick. So what would you like me to... Are you going to do
I'll
it?
just say a few words.
Oh, yes, sorry,
and
yes,
then,
excuse me. Right, yes.
Some of them will want a good look at you.
Yeah.
Darlings, welcome. Welcome. From this afternoon, we will have improved not only the entrance to the Peak District National Park, but to our Baslow village, to our homes, in particular, one very magnificent home. On that magnificent note, the magnificent generosity of the Duke to agree to come here in the pouring rain and plant our tree to commemorate the 90th anniversary of Baslow WI. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for asking me. I think it's a brilliant idea, and we probably haven't even noticed this roundabout, but now it's going to be something we look forward to coming back to. A great thing that you've done and are doing, and I don't know where you'll go next for a project, but I'm sure you'll find something to do. Thank you very much. So I shall put a bit of earth.
It's going to improve the approach to the village, and when it's got as many wrinkles as me, it'll look even better. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. They were great, weren't they? Formidable lady who definitely, almost feel sorry for the planners.
Of course, next time, for the 100th anniversary, we're hoping to meet the Duchess. We would like the Duke and the Duchess. A double whammy.
It's perfect going for them, actually. So we're very lucky. As long as it doesn't get any more rain.
It looks as though we might.
For 20 years, the Duchess and Ian Stark have been competing in horse trials. In 2000, at the Sydney Olympics, Ian won silver riding the Duchess's horse, JB. Tomorrow, in the cross-country event, he'll ride her horse, Look Similar.
How do you think he'll cope with this? Well, he won't be on this one, will he?
No, he doesn't jump this fence, but he's in good form.
Very competitive. Unattractive, but I am.
I'm not, of course. Much. We're not putting pressure on anyone, just each other.
Yeah. Need to stir him up.
With the displays watered and ready, it's time for the doors to open on the Chatsworth Flower Festival, Florabundance.
We always want it to be different, and I always ensure when I'm planning my designs that nobody's going to come and think, oh, same old flowers again, same old arrangements, Jonathan's doing this again. I always want them to have that wow factor as they walk in and have that journey through the different rooms.
Oh, I think a lot of work's gone into this. I think they're beautiful. I really do, yes.
No, it's amazing, it really is. Superb.
The flowers are superb, wonderful. I think the only thing I'm not very keen on is this behind us. It's a bit like Princess Eugenie's hat at the royal wedding. Designed by the Teletubbies.
It is a nice dance. It is a lily.
But,
we were a bit shocked when we first came in and saw the pink with the orange, but we got used to it now. It isn't a colour we would put together, is it? No.
I don't really work directly with the Duke and Duchess, but I hope that the arrangements that I do meet up to their expectations and standards.
He's about to find out. The Duke and Duchess are on their way.
Morning, Duchess. Morning, Duke. Morning, Duchess.
Morning. I think it's much the best we've done so far, don't you?
I think so.
Yes.
You know, it's beautiful, really lovely, yeah. Everything else this year is so much more complementary to the house. And then this is particularly uncomplimentary.
Yeah.
And I think we've just got to be really careful about getting the balance right.
I've got to work in their home fundamentally, haven't I? So I don't want to do anything that's going to offend or upset them or sort of be contrary to their design ideology for the house itself.
I think the chapel is beautiful, and the painted hall, I think, is lovely. This too is amazing, really, but some of the colours are quite bright, but they're meant to be. I mean, that's what he wanted to do, and it looks stunning.
I think flowers should always make people have an opinion, be it good, be it bad, be it positive, be it negative.
It's not so much not liking what they've done, it's more that this is a rather amazing gallery, a sculpture gallery, and you can't see it properly at the moment. It's not really, don't do that ever again. It's just be careful what you're obscuring.
Jonathan's flowers have made their mark in more ways than one.
We've got a few problems in here because when the displays were put on the table, I don't think the base of the glass was clean, and some of the colour has come through onto the tablecloth. We knew they weren't going to have to water them, so we didn't put any plastic underneath. So we'll just hope when they lift the remaining pots up that there's no stain left underneath there. So I don't know whether I want to be here when they do that. So we'll send the cloth away to be laundered and keep our fingers crossed.
The great dining room table is 30 by 12 feet, and the tablecloth is a rarity. There's only one antique spare, and ironing it is the job of housekeepers Jane and June.
Oh, it's very starched, isn't it?
It's very starched. It's quite wrinkly, in fact, isn't it? Oh, goodness, it's really stuck. 1891. It's been around this long. We can't destroy it. It just sounds so awful when you're pulling it apart, doesn't it?
It's going to be like tissue.
I hope it doesn't rip into holes.
No, let's do it really gently.
My heart's gone bang, 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 bang. Whoops! I'm going to take my shoes off, June. Because we're going to have to tread on it.
You're not going to do it with your feet, are you?
No, I'm not doing it with my feet. It's like ironing paper.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Sounds like thunder.
I might take my shoes off to iron at home, you know, because I think I'm doing it better with my shoes on.
It's more relaxing with your shoes off.
I'm going to have to dash, Jane.
All right, then.
I'm sorry to leave you at such a crucial moment.
It's all right. Thanks ever so much anyway, June. And then there was one, and I'm going to have to move it. All on my own. Oh, those creases are just terrible. Oh, it's just impossible, this. It's no good. We're going to have to put it on the big table and get an ironing board either side of it, because there's no way it can be done on here. It's just impossible. So I'm really going to give up, and let's hope it does better upstairs.
Chatsworth's Kitchens. 8 chefs, a head chef, 2 sous chefs, 4 cooks and 4 bakers, among 50 catering staff to help prepare food for over 100 events throughout the year.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay.
Tonight we've got the horse trials and we've got a champagne reception with canopies. The Duke and Duchess are hosting it. We're expecting about 140 guests in the painted hall, and it's going to be a really prestigious event. We really enjoy it as well because it's fun for the staff. The Duchess decides which canopy she'd like on, and then that obviously comes up to Adam, the head chef, and he prepares the canopies as per her spec. Oh, give us a shout if you need anything then.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, cheers, Claire.
Thanks.
I'm making the tartlet bases for the lemon crayfish for tonight's canapes for the Duke and Duchess. So, a lot of responsibility.
22-year-old Nathan lives in Bakewell. Since leaving college, he's made a career in catering, and tonight, his food must be top-notch.
I've met the Duke and Duchess personally once, the last staff party. They came and gave some awards out. They walked and talked to everybody, which was nice. I wasn't expecting something like that. I thought you had to bow and things like that. You know, the first time I'm standing like this. But no, you don't. But hopefully I'll get to see some of the house today that I don't normally get to see, or something like that. That'd be quite nice. It's a privilege, really, isn't it? You know, it's immense. It really is. Saying that, though, I just enjoy the drive to work. You know, not every day you get a nice view like that. Anyway.
Shall we get cracking?
I think we ought to get cracking. No, let's not get cracking in case we crack one of those glasses. Let's
Right,
get
well, carefully
moving
get
things.
moving then.
Hey, ba-doo-ba-doo-doo.
It's all change in the dining room. With 150 pieces of cutlery, 120 pieces of glass, and 47 pieces of silver to be dismantled, swapping the tablecloth will make it a long night.
Gosh, I hope that comes out.
I'll leave you to it.
OK,
see you tomorrow.
We didn't put the iron on hot because of the underlay sticking to the table.
That's not doing a very good job, I'm afraid.
I think we're going to be here a long time. Henry's going to find us asleep under the table in the morning, I think.
Looks like the Himalayas.
You realise we'll have very long hair by the time we get to the end of the table. 3 months later, we get to the end of the table. No, I wouldn't like to be a duchess. I don't envy them at all.
Well, anybody like that, to not have your own life completely. There's always an element where you've got to be on show, and that must be so difficult. There's some good sides to it, though, isn't there?
Oh, not having to do the ironing.
Trouble is, Jane, you've got to find a duke first if you want to be a duchess.
Well, this is true. There's quite a few aristocrats out there, but they need an heir, and I couldn't do that either. My breeding days are over. Oh, Janet.
We're getting to the
Is
the
it
ridges,
really
aren't
any
we?
better?
I think we've gone to the Rockies now.
You know how they say a bad workman always blames his tools?
What's wrong with your iron, Jane?
My steam button's got stuck.
Don't feel as if we've done very well.
Let's pray.
Tonight, to celebrate the start of the horse trials, over 200 guests of the Duke and Duchess will gather in the Painted Hall. For the team of 8 staff, 72 bottles of champagne and Nathan's 600 canapes will be the curtain raiser for the 3-day event.
We've invited them here because it's, you know, Chatsworth horse trials. So,
International.
Of course. It's really because
International
it's a
horse
sort of thank you, isn't it? It's a thank you to people like the doctors and the vets and all the people,
officials.
all the
Yeah.
officials.
It's going all right. I think we're on just ahead of time, just about. I hope so, anyway. If I'm not, then I'm in trouble, but it'll be fine. A little bit nervous. I don't like doing any function. Of course, I enjoy doing it. It's just the... You don't want to mess it up, do you?
You know, with Flora Abundance and the horse trials this weekend...
Yeah, it's very different.
It's something different to appeal to a different audience or people who want a day out. And tomorrow, most of the people come and be interested in the competition, but some will want to come just as an excuse to have a walk round and see some people jumping amazing fences. So it'll be really nice, I think. It's important and it's fun. It's a good combination.
Are we talking or are we not bothering?
Sorry, I've just got a bit of
Come on,
stuff on
then.
me.
Covered in white.
There we go.
Gloves. 25 to, we're going to expect him in about 6:15, so we need to be all ready. So we're going to start pouring about 10 to. Our canopy girls just stay on canopies, and the
girls on the drinks, obviously offering, but keeping sort of in the background. Nathan, if you carry on building them, look at you.
I know, I've got it all over the place.
Look at, you can tell
It's the gloves. They've got like talc and stuff inside it.
Let's make sure we're all smart before they come in. So if you keep in the bike as you are, and just carry on building, okay. And then once they're all built and we've got all the canopies done,
It's good entertainment.
then you can you can go in pot wash because you'll have a scrub. Smile at them, wander around discreetly. So is everybody happy? Any questions?
They'll be punctual. They're just not ready.
Is it busy? Is it not full yet?
No. Champagne? Champagne for you?
Just got to concentrate.
Hello. Hello. Would you like champagne? Champagne for you?
As the champagne flows, the pressure is on Nathan to keep his canapes moving.
That's okay. Yeah, only a couple of things I've knocked off anyway, so I presume I didn't have that Royal Dalton in my hand to break as well.
It's a good evening. Yeah, a few drinks helps after the stress of the day. Here in the house riding the Duchess's horse, it doesn't get much better than that.
So, Roger, you all right?
I'm very good, yes, thanks.
You know, the good thing about eventing is probably that the horses do most of the work. So the training and lifting a glass occasionally is very, very important. It's all about having a nice time.
So we're start looking for glasses. Let's stop collecting glasses.
It's gone well. It's gone really well. Apart from the latecomers, which threw us off, because we sent all the canapes out, what we thought we only had. We had 2 lots of latecomers, had to run back and make some more up.
It's just gone so fast, I can't believe. 4 o'clock, we're all getting ready and now it's all done. It's such a lovely place when it's all empty. Great night. Right, get packed up, get off home. Wait for me, Nathan.
(8 a.m). After a night of ironing, the tablecloth should be ready for laying.
It's just difficult to get all the creases out. Looks okay. Thing is, silver covers most of the creases up anyway, so no one can see. I think it'll look fine once it's laid. A bit of luck. Right.
Optimistic.
With over 500 competitors and 10,000 paying spectators, the Duke's army of 360 staff has its work cut out. And like any army, it marches on its stomach.
Yep, 9:10, breakfast time. Bacon sandwiches for today. You don't get a body like this eating muesli, do you? The sheep and pigs have muesli, I don't. I just keep an eye on this gate. There's usually sort of like 200-300 people that come through here in a day. This is a normal time when everybody starts rushing through the gate. The minute I put the frying pan on, then I get a massive rush on. But then I end up with burnt bacon, so be prepared for me running across to that gate. Just get him a serviette. We're not completely uncouth in the country. Oh, hang on. Morning. The tickets? Excellent, thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.
That's fine. Over.
Like outside catering. Best sandwich I'll have all day. Until the next one, obviously. Sorry, just in the middle of my breakfast. Excellent, thank you.
Now in its 7th decade, and the only World Cup qualifier in the UK, the horse trials always attract huge crowds.
The horsey world is quite social. It's a sort of circus that goes around the countryside. It's international, actually. And so, you know, the riders see each other every week. They're competing like any other elite sportsman. It's in their diary from one year to the next, and they'll come every year, which is great.
I feel very fortunate that we have such a prestigious horse trial here at Chatsworth. And when you see the best riders in the world coming here to compete against local people, I think that's what horse trials are all about. It's all for the love of the horse.
Across the 3-day event, the most anticipated and dangerous competition is the cross-country.
The cross-country part of the event is exciting and it's high risk. I mean, it's dangerous, particularly for the rider. The adrenaline is flowing really fast, but, you know, we all enjoy a bit of adrenaline flow.
A top-class cross-country course must challenge the all-important trust between rider and horse. Most feared are the water jumps. The horse doesn't know if it's jumping into 6 feet or just a few inches.
Ian, to the Duchess, come in, please. I think you'll have to ring her, Val. She's not answering the radio. She maybe hasn't got one yet. Either that or she's ignoring me.
The design of this year's course has taken Ian Stark 9 months.
Yeah, the nerves are creeping in, the stomach's churning. I did waken up at 4 o'clock this morning. I managed to sleep for another sort of 45 minutes, but I don't get much sleep now for the rest of the weekend because I get a little bit anxious about the whole situation. That was all right. Look good. I always thought when I was competing, if I didn't get nervous, it was time to give up. And so maybe it's the same with course designing. You just hope that everyone gets home in one piece and lives to tell the story.
While the riders run the course, circulation in the house is more sedate. The dining room might have delighted King Edward VII, Queen Alexandra, and even a young Queen Victoria. But nothing escapes the beady eye of the paying public.
I don't like the look of that, and it hasn't been ironed. That's what I think about that. How could they iron it?
I think that the tablecloth actually detracts from the beautiful silver that's on the table with the creases that are in it. If it was perfectly ironed, pristinely ironed, I think that would be great.
Well, no cloth at all. I think no cloth at all would have been better.
Oh, no cloth at all,
Yeah,
I think. Depends what the table's like underneath, doesn't it?
I'm feeling sick at this very moment, very sick. So pressure.
Ian Stark is about to compete in the cross-country event. He'll ride for Chatsworth on the Duchess's horse, Look Similar.
Yep. Thanks. Okay?
Yep.
Despite 20 years watching Ian compete, Ian's wife Jenny and the Duchess always feel the pressure, and tension is high as Ian pushes himself to the limit.
When Ian is riding my horses, it's very nerve-wracking. Your heart is in your mouth, and Jenny and I stand there together feeling very nervous.
Quite sick at this point. I should be fine, but I'm not. I'll tell you in 10 minutes. In the start box.
Oh, then.
In the penultimate, that's the Woodhouse Club.
Yeah, he's off.
Begin to move, otherwise we won't see him at the ice pond.
Scary. Because he's a very brave rider. He knows what he can expect from a horse. And it's very exciting.
Okay.
His courses are excellent. He's trying to make it good for both the horse and the rider if they are good enough.
Next up, Ian's water jump, designed to test the best.
It's gone quiet. You think that's good? It's not always a good sign. Well, it's not always a good sign. He's coming, he's coming. Does he still jump? Does he jump here? I can't remember anymore.
Down, over the cavalry corner.
To have a clear round cross country within the time is just so thrilling. It means that you've ridden it well and you've got the best out of the horse, and that's what you're trying to achieve, and it's very, very exciting.
Interesting to ride it, actually. Can you push him over this way, Mum?
Oh, I'm thrilled to bits. He went so well. No, it was great. What a relief. Well, we've been doing it for plenty of years.
We've done a lot of years, yeah.
Nearly 20 years we've been at it. Ian's been riding my horses for that much time.
I'd get her to muck out occasionally, you know. Maybe that's pushing my luck. He's so good that he just comes up with the answers. Oh, sorry. Sprayed the Dutchess. That's dangerous now.
Thank you very much for all your hard work. I think that's absolutely everything today.
All right, yes, Tony.
Yeah, just one thing. We had some visitors complaining about the table. There's about 6 ladies came in, and every one of them made comment about the tablecloth, not actually what was on it.
Thank you. I'll let them know. Thanks, guys.
Do we really want to know?
Oh, I don't know. The tablecloth in the great dining room is 30 feet long by 12 feet wide.
5 comments. Could do with an iron.
Great, but looks crumpled and lets the magnificent table setting down.
With the creases turning into a crisis, Head of Textiles Susie Stoko is called in to cast an expert eye.
Not looking great, is it?
But it isn't as bad as it was.
Well, it doesn't even feel like fabric. It's been very overstarched. It's sort of tight, and that means any tensions when it's being ironed that are wrong or different in different areas, you're forcing the fabric to, in a way, be distorted. And this room does fluctuate in humidity, so the cotton will be trying to suck in moisture and become like fabric again. So it's all got to come off, and then we will have it looking neat and tidy.
Once again, the elaborate Victorian table setting will have to be dismantled.
So I've probably stripped and laid this table about 20 times over the years.
We're sort of getting professional at this now.
I'm sure the tablecloth is going to look really lovely today. It can't be any worse.
But our winner in first place, Emily Baldwin with Drive Time.
It's gone brilliantly. Yes, it's been the most super 3 days. Everybody has said how good the going is. I'm just relieved that we got it right.
Astier Nicolas, the rider Jacques de Genlis for France.
It's such an exciting place to be, and it's a great event and a great venue. The riders are raving about the ground. What these guys have done for the course is just incredible.
The ground was perfect.
And I quite like to take the credit for that. It's fine.
Even the creases are stiff.
Just the way it sounds crispy.
Yes.
Actually feels like fabric.
It does.
I've done my best, and you can only do that. So, yeah, all in all, I'm really pleased.
Where's your snake up that end?
He's here.
That snake there, and there's one there.
It was just so frustrating not to be able to get it to look nice.
Go for it.
I can't use both hands at once.
Yeah, you can. Do you want me to have a go?
Have a go this side. I was just so horrified and so relieved when a new tablecloth came in and we could make that look really nice. Chatsworth is the magic word, and everything has to be the best.
The pride in it is shared by people who work here. I think it's very humbling. I think we're very, very lucky.
Do you think it's better?
Definitely.
We shouldn't have complaints now.
The tablecloth looks perfect. It just looks really nice.
Next time, Chatsworth, not just home to the Duke and Duchess.
Years ago, you'd join Chatsworth as a 16-year-old, and then you'd have your house for life. You know, you never wanted to go anywhere else, really.
But times are changing.
Such a charming little cottage. It was lived in by a tenant. Now we've decided it's going to become a holiday cottage.
I wouldn't mind a place like that myself, to be brutally honest.
Some traditions carry on.
Evening all. You got a big straight in there, John?
Oh, yes, that's what they all say.
Are you going to get your big taters out?
I'm going to get my big potatoes out.
Get your big taters out.
It's stiff competition at the local horticultural show.
Sharp cough medicine. It's not my cup of tea, that.
And a shadow that has been hanging over everyone is about to be lifted.
18th century bling, it's just the best thing. It's a dream come true for us. It really is, isn't it?
Chatsworth, Palace of the Peaks. 300 rooms, 35,000 acres, 62 farms, and 3 villages.
Living here, we tend to forget how big it is, and it seems strange that it should just be for one couple.
For more than 4.5 centuries, Chatsworth has been owned by one family.
We've got a duke, and we've got a duke's son and a duke's grandson, so we've got the next 2 lined up.
A line now led by the 12th Duke of Devonshire and his wife, the Duchess.
It's just amazing. What a fantastic view.
Chatsworth isn't just a costume drama.
I am single. Don't know if she is, though.
To many of the people that work there, it's home.
Thank you.
It's a wonder they don't get the plague.
This is sort of a priority job for the day.
That's what I like, the glamour of it.
But times are changing.
Oh, it's charming, isn't it? It's
It
such
really
a
is.
charming little
It really
cottage.
is.
It was lived in by a tenant, and now we've decided it's going to become a holiday cottage.
I wouldn't mind a place like that myself, to be brutally honest.
And a veil hanging over everyone is about to be lifted.
18th century bling, it's just the best thing. It's a dream come true for us. It really is, isn't it?
Welcome to a year in the life of Chatsworth. Chatsworth in summer. For the entire season, the south and west wings of the house have been covered in scaffolding. Part of the Duke's master plan, it's a £14 million facelift to restore Chatsworth to its original glory.
This house was built to show off. When the first Duke rebuilt it, he was determined that everybody should know that he was very important, very successful, very powerful. So he built what was then a modern house, and it's a palace fit for a king to visit.
I've got it, Matty. Let me take the weight.
I'll come down towards you.
The scaffolding, to me, is really good news. It means something very positive is happening. I find the project really exciting. If we don't do anything else, the fact that whilst we've been living here, the stone's been cleaned and restored and repaired and the gilding's been put back in, it'll look pretty much what it looked like when it was finished building in 1704. I can't wait.
With over 37 miles of scaffolding, stone from the same quarry on the estate used to build the original, and employing 259 people, it's a massive project.
So that's all brand new.
Wow, that's
brand new.
That's a huge
brand
improvement,
new.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really exciting to see that done. We were really quite nervous about the reaction of people to the scaffolding, but I think the way we played it was, you know, it doesn't look great from the outside, but come and have a look inside and we'll explain what's going on and why it's going to disappear for a year. Living with scaffolding is not great, but it's worth it.
But not everyone agrees.
We have just been to your beautiful house, but we're very disappointed that all the scaffolding was up. It was a birthday gift for my sister, and we travelled 4 hours to get there. That's such a shame. This lady says the loss of the view from the lake due to the scaffolding was really disappointing. This is somebody from Holland who says that they were very disappointed because the house was so dark. Oh, dear. I don't like it when people make adverse comments about Chatsworth. I do take it personally, but you can really understand where they're coming from at the moment.
And it's not just the visitors who have a problem with the scaffolding. For the past 5 years, Chatsworth has been hosting weddings in the old stables. And one of the key selling features is the view of the famous south facade.
Classic wedding shot for all our brides who absolutely love this beautiful image, looking down on that spectacular view. You know, it's a pretty amazing piece of scaffolding, so, you know, to lots of people and to some of us, it was quite a bit of a shock of how dramatic it was. But it has to happen. You have to just work around that.
Which means working around it with bride-to-be Helen and groom Gavin.
76, lovely. So 76 day.
It's the creme de la creme of the Peak District, really, isn't it? It's got everything. It's beautiful. Looking at it at the moment, it's not the best. However, we were told that there were going to be scaffolding up.
It's such a shame, but
it is.
Not as though we're going to sort of cancel it, are we?
Yeah, I mean, it's something what we're going to have to put up with.
Yeah.
So this is an image of the south front. This is a shot that bride and groom love to see. Obviously, at the minute, it's covered in scaffolding, but what we can do with this is take the shot and then it's photoshopped, superimposed and back onto an image without the scaffolding. And it's as if the scaffolding isn't there. So this is one of these Photoshop moments. As you can see, no scaffolding in sight. It's a beautiful shot.
Busy all year round, Chatsworth's farm shop prides itself on stocking fine British produce. And always on the lookout for new bestsellers is shop manager Andre.
The farm shop's been my life, really, for so long. I haven't done many other jobs. If I had to write my CV, it'd be everything Chatsworth. But, you know, I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that.
Andre's fantastic. He's great fun to work with. He's marvellous and runs the farm shop with great enthusiasm, and he's always looking for new and different things.
I've been working on a new product for the farm shop, and we've got a beer with Andre's face on it, and it's Andre's Special Ale. It's locally produced, which is even better, and because he's become a bit of a local hero, we've thought that, you know, we'd do a little surprise for him. And I'm off up to the farm shop now to show it to him. First time you will have seen it.
Viviana,
Hi.
how are
Hello.
you?
I'm good, thank you.
What do I owe this honour?
Well, now, I've found the most unique product for the
Have
farm
you?
shop. Nowhere else will be stocking this line. And
Are you being real?
yeah, I've got a whole...
It's horrendous.
It's perfect.
I'm never really short of words, am I?
Just let me do a customer. Would he buy this?
What is it? Oh, he would. But it's having your name on
Would
it.
he?
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah. Is it for sale, Andre? On the...
It's going to be, apparently. But would you buy that?
Crikey, frightening. No. No, I wouldn't.
Wherever you put this, I will not be able to walk past it. I'll have to have blinkers.
Blinkers. Oh, well, we'll get you some blinkers. That'll be fine. Yeah?
Could you have not found a better picture? Could you have not airbrushed me?
I think it's very flattering. I also think that it's, you know, it's in the same shape as the label as well, you know.
Oh,
so
my head is?
Yes, so it's perfect.
Always know the beer's better than the picture. The beer's fantastic. The person on the front is a bit shady to me. It's embarrassing. I hate to look at it. It's always a bit of a shock, though, just to see yourself. It's like hearing your own voice. You think it's somebody else. Well, that's going to keep the children away from the alcohol. It's actually disguised by some of the better labels that are on this display. It doesn't jump out so much now. Look, I've just found a way to improve it. There we are, keep the labels inside. There we are, that's not so frightening now.
The title 12th Duke of Devonshire brings with it centuries-old obligations.
Well, this is the Chatsworth weather book, which has been going for years, since the 19th century, and so it records the temperature at 7:30 and the state of the weather and the wind, and really most interesting for me always is the rainfall, still in inches, I'm afraid to say, and it gives the barometric pressure and the max min on the thermometer and so on. It's done from the weather station on the big lawn, and the gardeners fill in a little slip of paper with the recordings for the previous 24 hours. And then it gets put into this book every day. So you can look at every November for the last 60, 80, 100 years, I don't know, and see, you know, how much drier it's been.
On the report, we record all the thermometer readings, the rainfall reading, wind direction, speed, and the sunshine levels for the previous day. The sunshine's coming through at this side, and where the sun hits the card, because it's so strong through the glass, it burns a hole in the card, and then obviously as the sun moves round, as the day progresses, more and more of the card will be burnt. So this is yesterday's sunshine recording, and we can see that each block counts as an hour, so then we have to add up how much of the burns are through it. We can see there was probably 2 or so hours of sunshine yesterday.
It's one of those things, a pity to stop. I don't think one should be too stuck on tradition. I think some tradition is great, but I think changing things is also great. So you need to keep some things the same, and some things you need to change. And this, as far as I'm concerned, is something which we should go on with.
But as a 21st century Duke, he's also keen Chatsworth should face the future.
Amanda and I were determined to make this a place which people know if they come to. They'll see the wonderful old collection, but also they'll likely to find some thrilling new exhibition about something which perhaps they hadn't encountered before.
It's a passion the Duke inherited from his father.
I'd be boasting if I call myself a collector. I have bought 1 or 2 things. I had this very good racehorse, and she won a lot of money. I did spend some of it on buying pictures. But the 6th Duke made a collection, and Georgiana, way back in the 18th century, made a collection, and I have added considerably to that.
My father and mother also liked contemporary things, and it was thanks to their enthusiasm that we have this quite interesting collection, group of family portraits by Lucian Freud.
And here are the Freuds. My wife, my mother, my son, one of my sisters, my other sister, and myself. I don't know why I had them done. I certainly wouldn't have had them done if Lucian hadn't been a friend. And if you told me that I was having my family painted by someone who was going to become really famous. I just wouldn't have believed it. Mind you, by the time he'd finished, he was getting better known. But when we started, I don't think anyone had heard of him.
And the current Duke keeps the collections bang up to date. And not without controversy.
It's very macabre in a way, I think. No, I don't think I do like it, actually.
It wouldn't be my favourite.
Standing in the chapel, skinned alive, it's Damien Hirst's St. Bartholomew.
It's such a shocking sculpture. I was a bit taken aback.
I thought it was appalling.
As far as I'm concerned, it's out of place.
It didn't fit.
And the first impression of it is tough because it's a very tough subject. He was skinned alive for his Christian faith, and he was martyred and became a saint. And it's not inappropriate that that should be in a chapel. We didn't think too hard about what other people would think, which sounds, perhaps it sounds a little bit arrogant, but on the other hand, if we're always going to be trying to second guess what other people want, well, there's so many people come here that everybody wants something different. I'm very pleased with it.
If you need something practical doing at Chatsworth, chances are you need one of the 17 housemen.
Oh, hang on.
From helping with the restoration to changing the bins, it's a one-stop shop.
Thank you. When I came, I didn't realise how much of it was actually toilets and litter and things, and I knew Chatsworth was a good place to sort of try and get my foot in the door and hopefully progress, but I've been here 4 years now and it's not happening. I mean, I've worked in sort of factories and on building sites and been stood in your own little area all day. But here, this is my office, as it were. This is my factory floor, so thank you, thanks. So I really enjoy just being outside and in this area.
And Darren is hoping to one day emulate his supervisor, Andy.
This is sort of a priority job for the day.
As a supervisor, I don't expect anybody to do something I wouldn't. And, you know, nobody can turn around and say, well, you wouldn't do it, because I have done it all. So, I do like it when there's loads of wasps around as well. It always makes it a bit more fun. Dancing around like Michael Jackson, it'd be lovely. That's what I like, the glamour of it. Right, I think we've done in here. Let's go.
And when the housemen have been, done it and gone, here come the housekeepers to clean up after them.
Changing the towels in the men's mess room. We do it 2 or 3 times a week because they have dirty jobs sometimes, and then they wash their hands and then wipe it on the towel. They don't rinse them in between.
Lurking downstairs in the bowels of Chatsworth, the men's mess room.
What's a health warning on here? Look at the state of the cups and the table. Because they kept losing the teaspoon, they put the... But I don't think it's ever washed. So I wonder they don't get the plague.
Upstairs, the Duke and Duchess pride themselves on running a modern, forward-looking house. Downstairs, it's privilege and hierarchy.
This is the hub. This is where everything gets discussed off record. Pecking order down table, as you'd probably find sort of at Duke's table. maybe. We've got Trevor. This is Trevor's seat. He's, I think it goes on how loud you are. Trevor, Irishman. This is his seat. He's dad, head of the table.
4.5 years ago, Prince William spent 2 weeks at Chatsworth. And while he was here, he spent half a day with the maintenance team. So he came in for lunch, and I had to go down to the local chippy and bring back fish and chips. And he sat in that corner, enjoying his fish and chips. Got a photograph up there. You can see Prince William, and there's me. The mug he used, you can see him just there. We got him to sign, and we've put in this cupboard.
I'd love to get my gloves on and give it a really good
jet washing.
Well, it does, it does.
They like it like that.
Well, men do.
Yeah.
This became the maintenance team's mess room, I think, 1947, when the house was reorganised after the war. And this is where the men used to sit to have their break. Then the maintenance team was 3 times the size of what it is now. And they had a shelf that ran around the outside of the room. And they always used to sit facing the wall and not talk to each other for reasons unbeknown. So everyone wants their space to go and have their lunch or their break.
Talk about stuff.
Talk about stuff.
Blow off steam.
Come on, June, come and have your tea.
Yes, tea, isn't it? Daughter.
Mats.
Oh, yes.
There's some around somewhere.
And we've got a very large life-size photograph of some girl in the corner.
It used to be off a Baywatch.
Is it? I don't care where she comes from. She sort of enhances that corner of the room.
I went to the Guild at the weekend and they had an open day and they had this charity there. And they make bags.
That's nice.
Isn't that lovely? They got the name of the person on it and inside was the groundsman and he'd made it.
Nice.
I thought that's good that gentlemen can make things as well as the ladies.
No, nobody cares where they sit. I don't think it's fair to say we all have our own seat. No. No.
How can you lie like that?
But if anyone...
anybody else goes in that
Normally this end of the table is more football orientated. And the far end of the table, although most of them aren't here today, is Land Rover orientated. I think that's fair to say.
Dotted around Chatsworth are 3 villages, Enser, Beesley and Pilsley. They were built centuries ago as tied housing, where the people working in the house and on the estate could live rent-free. A tradition that continues today.
I've lived in this house for 10 years. Yeah, but 10 years.
For houseman Andy, it's a mixed blessing.
Having a house with the job, you're secure, but in other ways, you're not so secure. You know, it's not your house, and should anything go wrong with your job, that's it, you're out on your ear. Whereas, you know, other people have got, you know, you've got the house, and you can change. You want to change your job. To us, it's a bigger thing to change because you've got to change your job and your house. So it's quite a, you know, it's quite a big thing really for us. So one rules outrules the other one, doesn't it? Really. You don't get a house now when you join Chatsworth, which years ago you joined Chatsworth as a 16-year-old, and you'd retire at 65, and then you'd have your house for life, and you know. That was one of the things when you got a house here that, you know, you never wanted to go anywhere else, really.
But times are changing. Many of the tied houses are being renovated and turned into holiday lets. The latest is Park Cottage.
It was lived in by a tenant, and then when he became too old to go on living here on his own, it became vacant. So now we've decided it's going to become a holiday cottage.
Oh, it's charming, isn't it? It's
It
such
really
a
is.
charming little
It really
cottage.
is. It's got so much character. It's built, as far as we know, built in the 1500s.
We have 17 on the estate, but this is rather a special one because it's so charming. And so once it's ready, we'll let it.
Got a nice
It's
feel
like
to
a
it.
fairy tale. You imagine Goldilocks is going to appear, or
Yes.
Hansel and Gretel.
You never know.
The makeover means more work for builders and the houseman. And a chance for some creative recycling.
I'm just putting these pieces of rhododendron on the foot of the bed now. When I pick a piece of this wood up, I've got to make it fit somehow, else I'll end up with a pile of pieces that I can't use. If I get that one up in that fork, I can attach this to the leg of the bed and the bed foot. Increasingly more and more estate cottages are being either let or used for holiday accommodation, because less and less estate workers are being housed these days. I can understand it from a business point of view, but people who tend to be estate workers are not notoriously well paid, so it's just something we've, you know, historically was taken for granted that you might be housed, but that seems to be something that's going into the past now.
We need a cloth choice for, we have the sofa and the armchair still outstanding.
Chatsworth's head of textiles, Susie Stokoe, has been called in to advise on fabric and soft furnishings.
I like this one very much, I think.
The upstairs bedroom is great.
Yeah.
And I think Dave's going quite well with the bed.
I'm longing to see how he's got on. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I mean, it's all got to go up through the trap door.
It'll look fabulous.
Well, the staircase is tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get in
No.
there. And once it's up there, it's trapped.
I was sort of thinking when it was in the workshop it was going to be a bit on the large side, but now it's up here you can see that it's got quite a considerable height in this room, and you know, there's plenty of space upwards for it to go. But it's going to be quite an imposing piece of furniture when it's in here. I just hope there's going to be enough space for everything else they're going to need.
I think if anybody wants an old-fashioned holiday cottage, you're not going to get any better than this one. With all the beams and everything up in the top room. It's fantastic.
I think Park Cottage is absolutely gorgeous. It's your completely quintessential English cottage. Lovely private garden, hollyhocks in the front, beautiful thatch. It's a very romantic, private spot. I wouldn't mind a place like that myself, to be brutally honest. Would have suited me, just about the right size. But there we go. May go and stay in it, who knows?
In peak season, that would set Susie back £933 a week. As the biggest employer in the area, a job at Chatsworth can be a chance for youngsters to start a career.
There we are, that's okay. So originally I'm a Londoner. I've been up here now about 5 years. I mean, I only got Chatsworth as a little tie-over job while I thought about what I want to do in my life as a career job. And I ended up enjoying it so much, I've ended up staying here for 4 years. So if you can fill all of these in and make it look very beautiful, and at the end, you can keep that. There we are. Well, I'll get you some menus so you can have a look what tea you'd like. No worries.
Lewis is on the fast track for management.
I'm 22, so like I'm still in my prime for partying, but I'm also in the prime of making a good career. So yeah, so it's a healthy balance. Were they okay for you then? Ah, brilliant.
He's just lovely, you know, and the customers always say to me how nice he is, you know, and he does take on board the importance of serving properly.
Right, I do apologise about the wait, and as I say, the mayonnaise will only be one moment, but I'll replenish your water for you. I've been given quite a bit of responsibility now, so I thank Chatsworth for that, for giving me the responsibility to be able to really shine, which I have, hence the trainee supervisor. So yeah, so I'm so chuffed about that.
I think, you know, he's just got to keep focused on what he's doing. Can't go thinking about what he's doing tonight or what he did last night.
You know, ideally, it would be brilliant if I did a little cocktail course. It would be pretty swift to be able to do all this stuff with the bottles. I mean, I can do a little...
The future of Chatsworth is in safe hands. His trainee supervisor duties include overseeing wedding receptions, and today is Helen and Gavin's big day.
Very smart.
Oh, I don't. Right, you want to measure out your first one. Make sure the first one is perfect.
With up to 40 ceremonies a year, Chatsworth's wedding and events manager Kay often faces unusual requests from couples.
I've just done a show round and they want next year a ballerina in a dome.
No problem at all.
That's what I said.
They haven't had the ceremony yet?
No. We haven't got a bride yet, Duke, so...
Come on, you can't have it without the bride. She hasn't arrived.
Everybody likes to watch a wedding. It's always wonderful. It's so romantic. Lovely. Is she arriving in some amazing machine? I mean, it's definitely worth waiting for.
I want to see the dress. How lovely.
I need the toilet, but I can't go. You ready? Yeah, so if you want to just face the door, then we'll just get your dress ready.
Yeah, so we're just getting all the tablecloths on, so then we can start laying. So we're getting there now. When the bride comes in, you want her to be absolutely wow. So although we're on quite a tight time schedule, everything does have to be perfect, Chatsworth style.
To grow with you in love. To grow with you in love. To be faithful to you.
I'd get married here, definitely, if I was getting married anytime soon.
The first opportunity to kiss your wife.
Again, it's just attention to detail. See how there's a finger mark on that knife? Yeah, that's what makes the difference. If we make sure that every single bit of cutlery is polished to the best we can, and then that way, when they come in, the bride and groom and all the guests will see how amazing everything looks, and hopefully that's what makes the difference. That's why everyone wants to come get married at Chatsworth. So I'll get this knife swapped.
Do not fall off.
So basically, I'm just gonna knock this champagne glass as if I'm about to make a speech, just to get everyone's attention. And then I'll basically say in an out loud voice, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you'd all stand for a new Mr. and Mrs. Bailey. And then on the boat, they'll walk in and everyone will be stunned. It would be my first time for announcing, but hey, I've got a loud voice. I'm made for the stage, so hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you'd all like to stand for your new Mrs. and Mrs. Bailey.
Mrs. and Mrs. Bailey.
Oh, of course, yeah, geez.
Mr.
Another summer's day at Chatsworth. And some old friends are paying a visit.
My father commissioned a number of portrait busts by Angela Connor, and they accumulated over quite a lot of years. And then we decided to put them on plinths in the garden. We're going to give them labels so people know who they are. And that's just a lovely thing to have.
Have you any idea who these are? No.
They look the same to me. I've got no idea.
No, our leader knows who they are, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Everybody has photographs either of family or of friends on their mantelpiece. And that's what it's about. And it's an extension of that. It's called art, but it's really just a reminder of old friends. We thought we'd put them in this nice quiet place and see what we thought.
Moving the Duke's old friends into place is a job for the gardeners.
Everything's virtually in place now, and it should be, done and dusted. Because we've got plenty of other work we've got to get on with, to be quite honest with you. So it'd be great if we can get it sorted out today.
We've got to decide exactly what angle the heads are looking. We're going to try and make it a bit as if they were standing, perhaps talking. I don't quite know what it's going to look like. Can you turn it a bit away from you, so it's looking straight at me? Yeah. What do you think?
It wasn't too bad deciding roughly where we wanted them here within this area, but which way they face is much more difficult.
I like the idea of Macmillan and the Prince being next to each other. The middle one more towards the Queen, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you turn it a bit more round?
What about this side of the face? And then have this one there as well.
Okay, yeah.
And that's
Okay.
the Prince.
And that...
No, the Prince there.
Yeah. So well, that's easy to change it round.
Yeah.
So, but in that way, can we go back to the second position? Yeah.
One stage, my sort of hand went to sleep when I'm sort of up here, but that's probably... I might have fell asleep anyhow.
You're right.
Yeah, all right, I was going to sleep.
I'm not surprised.
At one stage, I got both hands around the Duke's neck.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, well, thinking, you know, this is not right, really, but I couldn't do it any other way, to be honest, to get it in that position.
I think we need to have it this way a bit. I think of these as objects, really, rather than people, fun enough. I don't know about you.
I don't know. I think they're people to me.
Oh,
yeah.
And
they're so interesting because it's your parents. It's their
Yeah,
friends. It's their life.
I regard it almost like an abstract composition which happens to be made of human heads by one artist.
I feel quite differently, actually.
We'll wait now to decide how long it's going to take to get the heads in, and then we'll nip up and we'll just have another session. It'll only take a little while, won't it? So that'll be the next stage. That will be, I hope, the final stage. Can we try that turning towards my father? Yes, this way, round this way a bit, please.
Like everything at Chatsworth, to be truthful, man, you feel like you're nearly there and it might not be, but, you know, in terms of motivation, I think we're doing all right at the minute.
Worth getting a soaking for.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, actually. I mean, it may not be in the end, but...
The £14 million renovation is almost finished, and for the Duchess, a last chance to get up close and see where the money has gone.
What we're finding is the stone that Chatsworth is built off is incredibly hard sandstone.
Yeah.
This is why it's lasting so well.
Yeah.
When we clean the inner cord, 200 years old, it's brand new.
Yeah.
It's hardly damaged
Yes,
at all.
yes. They're so much bigger than I thought when you get up here. And then when that's all done, they start gilding the tops.
Yes. Yep.
23.5 carat gold. Purest you can get in leaf form.
The gold is about the thickness of a cobweb.
All the top finials on the roof, and then every window, there's 50 windows to be gilded.
Yes, it's probably the biggest gilding job I've been on.
Yeah.
I mean, this will last years. Certainly, we won't be doing it again in our lifetime.
100 years ago, or whatever, how long ago, these would have been all gilded and the windows would have been all gilded, so...
Yeah, I think they do like a bit of bling, though, They like their gold, but I think the thing is it can take it. The house can actually take it.
Yeah, let's go to the top. Thank you. There she is. I can't believe I'm touching her. Amazing. Fantastic. Right on the top. Look, here she is. She looks really happy up here, I think. Through wind and weather, she sticks it out. How fascinating. It's just amazing. It's just staggering to see. What a fantastic view.
It's incredible.
Chatsworth is the inspiration for Pemberley, Mr. Darcy's house in Pride and Prejudice. The 2005 film was shot here.
We're doing our wedding shoot today it's Pride and Prejudice themed, but basically it's for sort of promotional purposes, so we can use it on the website and any literature we produce or leaflets or anything. And surprisingly enough, some people still don't know that we do weddings, so for us this is a great opportunity. And to bring in the Pride and Prejudice theme, Pemberley, and that's great for us, it's a hook. Right, guys,
You're in.
through. We'll go get into the...
One of the leading roles in this version is played by an up-and-coming trainee supervisor. But his movie star good looks are a bit more rugged than usual.
Basically what happened is we was out on the night out, there was a bit of trouble in the club, so we all left. And then as we left, they followed us out and they jumped us. Well, mainly me. I mean, that's what they did to me. Mainly, it was just a bit of a swollen eye, a bit of a swollen face, but the main thing is they've cracked the 2 front teeth off my gums, so at the moment they're still in, but they both will be pulled out tomorrow.
Looks like his swelling's gone down. And he's got a friend of his mum's who's a makeup artist who's made him up for us this morning, or kind of covered his bruises, although I do think he looks a bit like Lily Savage, but we'll tone that down. I think we've got Emma, the makeup artist, here, so maybe take off the lip gloss.
It's fine, just a little bit of touching up.
It feels so surreal getting people to do your makeup. Not that I wear it normally. I did have some really good lip balm, and it's what bees use to, when they go into the beehive, they wipe their feet on it. And it's got like antiseptic things in a bit. It says on the bottle healing powers, but it's actually done my lip justice. Yeah, I only started using it for the last couple of days, and my lip was a big scab a couple of days ago.
Was it?
So yeah, it's come down a lot. Mad.
It's not just a little bit,
Probably
is it?
fit another bride
Yeah.
in there.
Was it like a proper corsette? I mean, a Corvette. A corset, that's it. I was saying courgette and Corvettes, they're cars and vegetables.
Supplied by the Chatsworth Textile Department, some of the costumes are the real thing.
We are looking at the moment at some of the old livery we have. This buff colour was made for the Devonshire House Ball. So it's original Devonshire livery. You're going to have to do both arms.
Yeah, I'll go like that.
Don't let it get wet by any circumstance, and be very careful of handling the pockets because it could rip down there and start bagging there. So
I see.
Keep your hands out.
Yeah. All I need to do now is find myself a beautiful lady. I'm playing Mr. Bingley, and in Pride and Prejudice he gets the most beautiful sister. So with a little bit of luck, I get to pick the most prettiest one. Although they all are very beautiful, the girls are today. Just need to make sure the trousers and the ancient coat doesn't get ruined in any sort of way.
Medieval coat that
Right.
That's beautiful.
That looks 3, 2, 1. This is it.
That looks good. They're all working really well.
Lewis, look at Grace. You can two having a conversation, yeah?
Yeah.
You and Grace. That's nice. There we go.
Great. Nice, Lewis.
The girl I'm about to do shoot with Grace, she's very beautiful. She's got very nice hair.
I'd like something with the house in the background,
With
if we
Lewis.
can, with Lewis and Grace in there.
As lovers.
Yeah. Oh,
Right, guys.
Okay then.
No pressure. Almost
Yeah.
touch lips.
Right.
deep breath. Watch your slips because they're broken.
Yeah, that's it. I've got a bit of a...
Oh, look all powerful and Mr. Bingley-ish. Oh!
That's hard.
Up towards there. It's a bit more like looking up. That's it.
There, that's
There we
it.
go.
Don't move.
That's
Mr.
lovely.
Bingley, Louis.
It's just a shame about my tooth, really, because it's quite restricting the way I move my lips and the way I smile and whatnot. And this, I've knocked it already a few times, and I've got no painkillers, so I'm getting a bit of jip from my tooth. But other from that, it's good.
Perfect. So you're looking at each other, yeah?
Yeah.
There. And we'll do the kiss shot as well. It's that one to start with.
Lewis, you're getting into role. You're looking very masterful. So chest out. It's looking good.
Here we go. And now you can go for it. So two noses, very
She looks frightened to death, bless her.
Can't believe I'm getting paid for this. To say I'm a catering trainee supervisor, it's one hell of a morning. I think it was all right. I hope she didn't think, oh no, I'm about to be kissed by an ogre. I am single. Don't know if she is though. I suppose it's something I need to find out. But yeah, no, I've yet to find the love of my life.
The Chatsworth Horticultural and Produce Show was started under the previous Duke and Duchess 48 years ago. It's been a fixture of estate life ever since. For the people who live and work at Chatsworth, The event, held at Cavendish Hall in Anser, is still a highlight of their year. Competing in the show for the last 30 years is gardener Tony Hubbock.
Chatsworth Horticultural Society is a local village society where anybody who's worked at Chatsworth can enter the vegetables once a year in competition to work out who's grown the best veg. And it's a friendly, light-hearted competition, but people still like to win, of course. I've won with tomatoes 2 or 3 times in the past. They look good this year. I might win this year, I don't know. It just depends what Mr. Turner's got up at Pilsley. It's a friendly rivalry, you could call it.
Farm manager Ian Turner is the man to beat. Last year he won Best Garden Flowers and the much coveted Best Tray of Vegetables.
These are my 6 hens that lay us some nice eggs every day and also provide the manure to do the garden. Some silly fool mucks them out every 2 or 3 weeks. It's usually me. I don't use any other fertiliser whatsoever, just hen mould.
And Tony Hubbock has a secret weapon that's not to be sniffed at either.
I'm collecting sheep manure to make into a fertiliser to feed to the tomatoes and cucumbers because they like the feed, it makes them taste better. I mean, if I didn't pick these up, they'd leach into the ground and make the grass grow. So if they make grass grow, they'll make tomatoes grow. My father used to go in the park and collect deer droppings. He thought that was better than sheep droppings. A bit more upmarket, I suppose, I don't know, but this is good enough for me. Should be in a Hessian sack, but I hadn't got one, so I borrowed one of the wife's pillowcases, so that's been trouble later, I suppose, but there you go. You've got to keep tight off, else it would all come out loose in the water and then it'd block your watering can up. And it goes. Finally, we put the lid on it, because believe me, when it's fermented and ripe, it don't half stink. You don't want to be anywhere near it with that lid off.
Competing for just 7 years, John Taylor is the new boy. But he knows his onions.
I don't like cabbage, I don't like collies, I don't like Brussels, I don't like kidney beans, I don't like broad beans. I like leeks, onions, peas. Swede, I love raw, but I don't like cooked. Carrots, I like. And that's it. You can't garden all the time, you see. So we have to have a little something to do. And we also have the basic essential of any garden shed. That is a necessity in the garden. Keeps man's body and soul together.
When I first started, there were a lot of elderly gentlemen showing and that sort of thing, and they thought it was bee's knees, and I had a go and I thought, well, it's not bad, this. You know, a bit of refining and learning how to do things. You know, like tying onions and that. It's an art, isn't it? And you have to learn these things, and they're all tricks of the trade when it comes to showing.
I hope to beat him with everything, but it'll not be like that. Well, I'll give him a good run for his money with tomatoes and carrots, of course, and courgettes, and marrows.
I shall never beat them. That's not defeatist. I know I shan't beat them, but I shall keep having a go. One year they'll slip up. But when they do, I'll be right behind them waiting.
Carrying the busts painstakingly positioned by the Duke, all that gardeners Mick and Alan need to do is mount them.
Yeah. Can you remember which?
I've got a feeling.
Go on.
That it was Macmillan, the Queen, Prince Charles.
I would say you're correct.
Although it did change, so shall we go for Macmillan, the Queen, and Prince Charles?
That's what we're going for.
I think so.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's Macmillan and Prince Charles in here, in this box. It's not Elvis, I can tell you that. Yeah.
I thought it had to be 5'9", not 5'5".
Get it on the top. good enough. Right.
Anyway, you take your time while I hold this everything.
You need to lift that up.
Yeah.
So that...
Don't rush yourself.
I'm ready. Aye, aye. If it's not done right, we'll be the 15th and 16th. With our head stuck in the bushes somewhere. That's deep enough, definitely. Each one's slightly different, everyone's just a bit tricky. But we'll get it done. Yeah. Right. Next one.
I think it's just Mick and Alan. So you fixed them, have you?
They're all fixed.
Brilliant.
They look wonderful.
You've done a fantastic job.
Right, thank
Brilliant.
you.
Really good. Thank you very much.
Excellent. They look much more natural now.
Yeah.
They look as though they've been here for a bit.
Yeah, it is.
And, you know, it's taken a long time, but because we've gone through it carefully, step by step, it's turned out
Yeah, I
best,
think,
I
you know,
think,
it's,
you know.
that's the right way forward.
It's a bit of fun.
I think it looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. I think
really-
it is wonderful. May not be the right answer, but I think it's a good answer.
Cavendish Hall in Enser is being prepared for the great event.
Evening all.
Oh, they look nice here.
You like my big carrot?
Very hopeful with that, very hopeful.
You got a big straighten there, John.
Oh yes, that's what they all say.
Are you going to get your big taters out,
I'm going to get my big potatoes
You'll
out.
get your big taters out.
I don't know quite how we're going to put them on there. That's class 3.
3 good carrots, I hope.
Got to look at them for carrots. If I'd have known they were in garden, they wouldn't have got as far as here. I'd have put rabbits in.
Bloody hell, look at that, Tony. Ooh. Ooh. No. Come on, we're going to have them different.
Yeah. Oh, no beating about bush. I want to beat him, but whether we shall or not, we shall find out. You ask me tomorrow at this time, and I shall know whether I'm crying or laughing.
But there's such lovely things in here. There's really, really nice plants.
The Duchess's renovations are complete, and Park Cottage is now ready for the Duke's seal of approval.
What do you think of the dresser?
Wonderful.
Isn't it? Isn't it charming?
Yes, absolutely brilliant. Great teapot.
The teapot, yeah.
Lovely flat, odd-shaped thing.
Lovely.
Yeah, that looks wonderful.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased that we found one the right size to fit in here.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it looked like?
Yes, it was nothing.
It's turned out to be
Brilliant.
a really nice room.
Very smart bedside table.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes. Oh, look! Look at the bed. Isn't that thrilling?
Yeah, that's amazing. David is incredible. It's all.
Oh, well
David
done,
Spencer
David.
made that in what? A month? Less.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
really
great
had
bit
to
of
be- you had
recycling
to-
of rhododendron.
Yes, it is.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
You can imagine this in a very smart antique shop in the Pimlico Road, can't you? There has been changes. I mean, 50 years ago, there were no houses in Enns that were let out to non-staff people. Everybody was housed. Now, more and more people want to have their own house. People come from further away. So it's changing. I think that we want to make sure that the villages remain communities. And if you filled up, say you turned 8 cottages in Enns into holiday cottages, then it wouldn't be good.
No. We wouldn't want to do that at all.
No.
These villages are wonderful. They're the communities are very important.
At the Horticultural and Produce Show, it's Judgment Day. Hoping for prizes, the villagers' vegetables, flowers, baking, brewing, and preserves.
Quiche and fruit cake. They all look nice.
Head housekeeper Christine has been competing since she started working at Chatsworth 36 years ago. She began with carrots and peas and has ended up on the gin.
I'm putting sloe gin in, somebody else has put sloe gin in. Well, they both look a good colour. It's a good brew because I have sampled it.
Any other bread? It's got some dead flies in it.
Looking for the nice, ripened skin, not cracked, firm neck on the onion, nice shape, basically looking for quality.
Right, sloe gin's next.
For Christine's homebrew, the exacting standards of the judge, and Ian Turner's experienced palate.
Sharp cough medicine. It's not my cup of tea, that, I'm afraid.
Hey, what? Look at this.
It's story of your life, that, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
A big soften.
Could I have everyone's attention, please? I'd like to welcome you all to the 48th annual show for winner of Class 36 Tray of 4 Vegetables,
Oh, bloody hell.
Ian Turner.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And the most points in the flour section, Ian Turner.
The old buggers won again.
More to clean, Ian.
I know. Same two again.
Never mind, there's always next year.
Kay's photographs are back for the wedding brochure, and she's keen to see if her leading man made the cut.
Hello, superstar. Can you remember where we were when
yeah.
in the rose garden? So we hit the rose
yeah.
garden. There you are, your first one. The very beautiful Grace.
Oh, wicked. I mean, the quality of camera as well is amazing, isn't it? So,
Well, never mind the quality of camera. Look at these beautiful,
I know, that's
gorgeous, sexy shots.
Oh my lord. I was a bit worried that I was going to look like a 1700s drag queen.
You look
made up and nothing, but
eyes look beautiful. You look really handsome, doesn't it? And the slight kind of cut on your lip gives you a kind of a bit of a cad feeling about it. That's one for Mum's fireplace, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Going in for the kill.
The kiss. Is that you kissing her again?
I think
it is.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different to what we've seen around the other wedding venues, so I'm really proud of them.
Is there a possible way you can email me?
Yeah,
these,
absolutely. We can get.
Because that would be brilliant.
You want to show your
mum? I'd show my mum. Yeah, my mum. It's been on about looking at them for ages.
Yep,
so.
I can get you the link and we can
Yeah.
get you some shots.
After a year hidden behind scaffolding, the great old house is finally ready to face the future.
Is it nice to see the scaffolding down, Duchess?
It's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I just think, wouldn't it be wonderful if the first Duke could come back and see it as it is?
Yeah, as it was when he
You know, I
first
was just thinking the other night, quietly, just thinking, I wonder what he'd think.
I've just looked at the house for the first time properly, and it looks magnificent. I should think when the sun's shining on it, all the gold around the windows will glint, and it'll look really, really spectacular.
I love the house. I've only ever been here with it having scaffolding over the top. So, yeah, I've never really seen it like this, and definitely not with the gold, and I just think it looks so stunning.
You know the numbers were up in the end?
The numbers were 700,000, is that right?
It was about 6,000 up on last year, which is incredible.
It's very brave of the Duke to do what he's doing because he's chosen to rip Chatsworth
to pieces, put it all back into good order.
I must say, I'm thrilled.
It's certainly bright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well worth the wait. I've been a long time in the dark. I feel a bit like a mole now.
There's an old saying that it was called the Palace of the Peak, and it does look like a palace now.
As you all know, we've had a fantastic year last year. We broke the record again, which was brilliant. Thanks to all of you. It was wonderful. More people happy, I hope. I think so. And so that was very exciting. Just the last 2 or 3 days were brilliant, and even with you. Good. Fantastic.
Even me.
Even you. Wonderful. You had a really storming last month.
We did. It's been amazing.
Great.
Christmas has been absolutely fantastic this year.
So now we've done all that.
For the farm shop, but now it's looking forward.
So I think that, you know, with the gold and the clean stone and the finials all brightly shining, it's going to be a really fantastically good year. I hope. I'm sure it will be. So let's hope for what have we got to? 1998. For what have we got to? 2012.
Yes.
Let's hope for the best. 18th century bling. It's just the best thing. It's a dream come true for us. It really is, isn't it? It's just so exciting because it won't have to be done for a long time now.